Sure. All right. Hello to everyone out there. We are live, and I am joined with Stuntman Marq. And this will be a fun time because we both happen to be fans of this movie.
Oh yeah.
And we'll quick shout out to Preminator, Myth Beats Fiction, Jahan Movies, who says, I love this movie. Uh,
Cool.
U2, uh, Ward really did make the movie along with Brad Dourif. They're definitely a part of it. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying. We're just gonna shoot the spit for about 5 minutes before 9 p.m. in case any more come in to the chat. But uh, how's everyone doing in the chat? I asked this before, but uh, before we start, you picked up anything, buy anything in between that's happened?
Not really. I mean, I got a bunch of stuff that like I just need to get to that I got like maybe some weeks prior. But
No?
what's up, Dark Metal Spider? Um, I mean, we do so many streams. I'm not even sure if I've showed it already. But yeah, nothing special though. What about you?
Doing well. Hey, Myth Beats, hope you're doing well, man.
What's up?
Uh, I rarely buy stuff anymore, but I did get one thing in the mail, I will
Okay.
admit,
Okay.
from Umbrella Entertainment. And I don't know how many people know this film, but it is The Tunnel.
Mm, okay.
It is the new Umbrella Entertainment release Blu-ray because this has a full-length documentary on it,
Nice.
new one as well as other stuff.
Hmm.
And have you heard of this film?
I have.
Okay. Have you seen it?
I have not. I know of it though.
Oh, okay. But I got this from supporting not local, but it's like an independent distributors. Nice guy. He
Hmm.
was his store was called the Atomic Movie Store, and
Hmm.
with shipping and handling, this was like $29, which concerns Umbrella Entertainment and other places like $10 more. It's a good
Hmm.
deal. So especially with shipping and such, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, always enjoyed this. But
I
that's
only
really the only
have
thing I've gotten.
I only have a
Yeah.
handful of Umbrella releases, but that's kind of an interesting topic. Let's go on to that for just for a minute. Are you just
Yeah.
more selective these days? Is it more so about
Yes.
replay value, that kind of thing?
More selective. I
Okay.
don't really need uh every movie.
Hmm.
I don't feel the need to collect stuff anymore. I just don't
Hmm.
because I have so little time to watch stuff, and it needs to be something that I actually really do enjoy and want to revisit over and over again.
Yeah,
Um, and if
I
I
hear
already
you.
have the film like on Blu-ray or something, and there's nothing new to it, I'm not going to waste my money on it. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm very much more selective. And to be honest, a lot of stuff that gets released, I'm like, I don't need another Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love the film. I don't need another one.
Yeah.
I don't need Bride of Chucky on 4K or where the hell's I don't need Seed of Chucky on 4K to see a 4K version of a doll pissing his pants.
Right.
I don't need, so it just like I said, very rarely have I gotten stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe once in a while, like a new film that I liked and impressed me,
Yeah.
or
Same here.
Watchers 2 I got from Stream Factory
Okay.
last year. But yeah, not a whole lot. Like I said, I'm just much more selective.
Hmm.
And uh, I'm like, do I really? How many times am I going to watch this Blu-ray? That's kind of how I think of it. Like, if it's going to be like twice in a span of 7 years,
Hmm.
do I really want to spend 30, $40 on it?
Yeah.
If I ever want to
I
watch it,
hear
I could
you.
find it online and watch it. And even features wise, I can't think of the last movie that was blown away by the features.
Okay.
Uh, at least for the stuff I've seen that I'm interested in, at least for me.
Hmm.
Sometimes they're like puff pieces, or especially like the stuff Stream Factory does nowadays, like puff pieces, or peaches. Because Bowser loved them peaches. He loves eating peaches. That's why I saw in New Super Mario Bros. Where he loves eating. He's like Nick Cage. He eat peaches for hours in more ways than one.
Oh God, I
Yeah, that's
love
why
Face
Bowser's
Off.
so pissed. But that's
Kind of
why
a
Bowser.
Johnny
Now I know
Mark.
why he's so pissed. He wants to eat peaches in the way other people do. So he's seen about it. He loves them peaches. So now I
Yeah.
know why Bowser's so pissed.
Oh, actually, I just thought about one. It's kind of goes along with our little theme of watching a Stephen King movie tonight. It's I think it's in
Okay,
this stack right here. 1 second.
sure.
Yeah, here. So this right here, which I highly recommend for
Ah,
any of you guys out there that are fans of Stephen King's It, and by that obviously you can see with the cover, the 1990 version. Yeah, this was really fun. What's
cool.
up?
Just yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
I've
it's
seen that documentary. That is a pretty well done one. I have seen that.
mhm.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of features too, which I was surprised with because the documentary is already loaded with a lot of information and stuff. So yeah, this was a great one to add to the collection. This is one of the earliest ones that I saw when it comes to Stephen King adaptations. I mean, being a kid of the '90s, this was the one that like you had to see, and if you hadn't seen it, you probably weren't one of the cool kids, you know. So yeah, it's uh, it's one of my favorites. And that leads me to another question: what is your favorite Stephen King adaptation, if you have one?
It's between. I mean, I don't know about adaptation wise, but well, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if always Stephen King, it's Maximum Overdrive or The Running Man, just for pure entertainment value.
Okay.
I love those films.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not much of a Stephen King reader, but I love a lot of movies that his stuff's based on. Like, I
Okay.
love Maximum Overdrive. I love The Running Man. I love this movie that we don't talk about. Like those would be like my top threes. I love The Shining, the
Okay.
Stanley Kubrick one, not the miniseries, which sucks ass in my opinion. I know that's more like the book. Yes, I even like the Mangler. I'm one of the few people that actually like the Mangler.
I like
I'm
Mangler.
so fascinated. Uh, but I like really liked it. Like Ted Levine, just
Oh
I'm
yeah.
so loving his performance in that.
Mm-hmm.
This is bullshit. This is reality. Okay, this is bullshit, Marq. I just
Yeah, I mean
uh
it's a lot like Stephen Mock's performance in this. I mean, he steals the
yeah.
show. Brad Dourif is great in this, but I mean, it's all Stephen Mock, man. There's so
Yeah.
many quotable lines, and just that New England accent is just awesome.
Yeah, I guess it's New England. I've never been in New England, so I don't know if people talk like that, but I guess so. So
Yeah, they're definitely trying, but whether or not they succeed is completely subjective.
I like Silver Bullet, but I
I
like
like that
Corey
one.
Haim in that.
Hmm.
Gary Busey before, whether the motorcycle accident or something else happened, he just went crazy.
Right. Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's the werewolf effects are not the best, but I do enjoy that film.
Yeah.
Because the
Me too.
werewolf effects are a bit wonky. They're not Howling, American Wolf, in London type of effects, but I do like the movie quite a bit.
Same
Hey,
here.
Retro Crypt, another one. Uh, I hate the Shining miniseries. I hate the Steven Weber just can't get up to Jack Nicholson, and I know
No.
they're in the novel, but the whole topiary animals that come alive in CG. I
Hmm.
think that's called topia. The animals made of leaves. I forget the if that's the term. I'm like, I don't know, the maze. I thought was a much better idea. Uh, Other than like the Rebecca De Mornay, but
You
not
can't
big
go
on the
wrong
rest
there.
of it.
um, yeah, it's funny. you mentioned that like not liking it. I think we all know the controversial take that King has with the movie versus the miniseries. And he didn't
Yeah,
like this either. He didn't like Graveyard Shift either, but I'm like, why not? Your story wasn't that great. And for the most part, it's pretty close to his short story. And I think
yeah,
he called it like a quick cash grab or exploitation picture, but I'm like, dude, most of your shit was like most of the stuff done was like to cash in on the popularity of his name or the book even that they were
yeah.
adapting. So I don't get his dislike for this one.
He dislikes most of them. I mean, other than Stand by Me, Shawshank Redemption, I
Hmm.
think Cujo. Like, there's a handful, but for the most part, he like hates most of them. So, oh well.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't agree with a lot of Steve. Whether it's politics or whether it is bullshit going on, it's his opinion. It's not my opinion. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have fun. This is a movie that, like I said, doesn't get a lot of love, but we're fans of it. I'm sure we'll be talking quite a bit about throughout it. So
Hmm.
it's about 9:05 p.m. and I guess we could go ahead and start when you're ready.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna cue it up.
Sure. Just looking at the chat. Jedizilla says Graveyard Shift is the closest thing we'll get to Man-Bat in live action. I think that's a Batman villain. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It's a really cool effect. Uh, let's see. Cole Warner. Hey there, how you doing? No, this was not a request. It was just something fun to do. It was fun doing the other stuff with Stuntman Marq. So I figured you would do another fun. Plus, I don't know if Uncle Bill's doing anything tomorrow. I haven't heard anything back, so I'm guessing not. But it'd just be fun to just talk with someone this week before the weekend. So
Yeah, like I sent him a message about the Death Wish thing and he didn't
Mhm.
respond. So I don't know if like maybe he's just really busy or what. I mean, I know they were preparing for like the Slippy thing, so maybe that
Yeah,
has something to do with it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna send him
yeah,
another message though, just about the commentary to see if like we're gonna do that or not. I really would. It's more so not. I mean, I don't really want to watch the movie per se. It's just the company of you guys, and also just closing the chapter on all the X Files stuff. Anyway, yeah,
no, I
yeah,
understand.
yeah. I mean that's why I kind of wanted to do the commentary before we did the last two seasons, just so we could go in
Right.
order. But it's all good. I mean, we'll get to it.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm paused at 0.
All right. For those who do follow along, whether in the chat during this or after the fact, as this is up, will be up on YouTube. I will count down from 5. And I'll say 3, 2, and press play. And when I say that, feel free to press play. Uh, so I'm at the 000 mark.
Mhm.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pressing play. As we have the Paramount logo. Uh, and how did you first see the film?
I saw it for the first time on, I believe it was a VHS tape, but it was like a recording off of TV. And I think that TV version was slightly extended. But don't ask me what was extended about it. I just remember that there were a couple of things that wasn't in like this cut, like the DVD or the Blu-ray version. So yeah,
I've
I don't
seen
know if
something
that's
on. There's one thing I remember seeing much later on online was at the end of the film. I think he walks out and he check he you know that paper you check out. You pop
Yeah.
the paper and
Hmm.
the check out and leave. I think that was at the very end, and maybe some like dialogue as well about the film.
Hmm. Now, is any of that included on the Scream Factory release?
No, it's pretty much it is a couple interviews. One with Stephen Mott, one with the director Ralph S. Singleton, which is in two parts. One with the actress Kelly Wolf, who's the love interest.
Hmm.
One is with Robert Allen Booth. He's the guy who gets the big hose and starts blasting water on the rats.
Yeah.
Uh, and then a trailer, so there's no commentaries, no deleted scenes. I mean, the film looks good. It's best I've seen the film look, and at least there's some interviews, so at least there's some stuff on here.
Hmm.
But it's not like a ton of stuff.
There should have been a commentary. I wish they had done one. It's like,
Oh, that's cool, look, Oswald.
oh, cool.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, I saw this film, like a lot of films, taped on a VHS tape because we only had four channels growing up, so it wasn't going to show stuff like this on. So we'd have two VCRs. You rent a movie, you get two VHS tapes, or you have the
Hmm.
VHS tape, you have a blank one. You just tape like three, four movies per VHS tape, and just
Yeah.
have it collected like that.
Yep.
Uh, no problem. Myth beats fiction. Have a good night. But one of the things that's always neat about this film is I think it really does capture a gritty, a very grimy, dirty, sweaty atmosphere
Yeah.
that really brings it to life, and it gives a bit character, whether it be, everyone's sweating, everyone's shirts is damp, every
Hmm.
place is like grungy and dirty and just
Hmm.
feels lived in, and it brings a bit of atmosphere and character to the whole movie that helps quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you couldn't, with the budget that they had for this and like the amount of time that they shot it in, which I believe was only about 6 months, them like doing all of that quickly. I think they were trying to get it out quickly for an Halloween release in October. And I believe the movie did come
Okay,
out
yeah,
around that time, like October
yeah,
26th or 28th or something.
yeah,
But like
it did.
they could have never done all this stuff. I mean, this is so much great production value that was just already there because like they shot pretty much on location. Like for I think it was an abandoned factory, an abandoned mill, stuff like that. So yeah, it just adds to the whole feel of the film, like you said. It's so good.
Now, I do wonder like how they did this where they hit the rats. I wonder if they actually did hit rats or something. I wonder if they get away with that today. It looks like it. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know
I
how they
think they
did,
did.
but
They probably did, man. Like, of course, like you said, you couldn't do this today, but
no. Yeah, I mean, Sally. I mean, I could get it, but this was all be like CGI rats. It would look awful. Like I don't know how
Mhm.
you even get all those rats together to stand side by side and watch. Like I don't even know how you even do that without them stirring around and having them
Exactly.
stay in place.
Yeah.
And real quick, like Bronson sent in a random super chat. Thanks, man. Uh, it's not the best Roland Emmerich movie.
Yeah,
I
I've
love
seen it.
Dennis Quaid, but
Mhm.
it's there, but it's not one I rewatch a lot. We're
Yeah.
gonna freeze. Outrun the freeze.
Um, I remember being pretty excited for that one when it was coming out. The website was done really, really well. Um, and I think up until that point, I was still really into Roland Emmerich. Because like he did, what was it in the later '90s after Universal Soldier? Of course,
Stargate.
Independence. That Yes, that's what it was, Stargate. So I love that.
Is it?
And then of course Independence Day. So throughout the '90s, I was like Roland Emmerich. But that one left a lot to be desired. I've only seen it once, honestly, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't own it.
It's okay, but there's a lot better movies. Like
Hmm.
I've seen better, I've seen worse.
Yeah.
But we've gotten our first victim here, and
Hmm.
some nice bloody chunks, and then this whole thing here where I thought it was a neat idea making the title literally bleed.
Yeah.
So a nice little touch. And I always like this store. I'm glad it finally got a release. I actually have the CD. I think somewhere over there,
Hmm.
which the store got released, and you can find it on YouTube as well. It's Brian Banks and Anthony Marinelli, who did the soundtrack to Young Guns, the first Young Guns movie, which I'm a fan of.
Hmm.
And I always thought this was a very creepy atmospheric store with this like soft choir. I think with
Yeah.
that and the smoky or the foggy graveyard, definitely it's an atmosphere that people don't really give credit to. They just kind of throw it away as one of the worst Steam Team movies, which I've never understood.
Yeah. I don't
They
get
always
it
put it at the
either.
bottom list, and I'm like, why? Like this scene alone has more atmosphere than a lot of those, than Thinner or some of those other fucking
Right.
movies. Uh, what do you think of this opening bit with the title bleeding and this whole
Oh,
establishing shots and stuff?
it's great. The establishing shots, all this exterior stuff is just great. I mean, look at the headstones. I mean, all this like with the fog, the slow panning, and then with the score, like it's so good. It just establishes such a great mood and atmosphere, and not a lot of other cash in King adaptations had that. I mean, there's so many. Like, but this one really gets overlooked, and it's a shame Ralph S. Singleton didn't do at least another adaptation or really even anything else. I think this was the only movie he ever directed. I
Yeah,
know he does a lot of
it
like
was the
second
only.
unit stuff and stuff like that, but
I think he helped produce Pet Cemetery. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that, but
mhm,
nah, he never directed anything again, and which is too bad.
yeah.
And hey, Peter Freakout, hope everyone's doing well. Uh, but yeah, it does give a nice feel with all these sort of low shots showcasing to give like the area like a bigger steel,
Mhm,
like menacing feel. And there's Brad Dourif,
yeah.
uh, which I know someone, a nice guy named Corey, who he's a nice dude who's chatted me from time to time. He met Brad Dourif, and I think one of the things he said is Brad Dourif didn't remember anything about this movie. That he didn't remember
Wow.
doing any. Is so that's why I'm sure you can't really get an interview with him because they'll say he doesn't remember anything. Because I guess because it's 1990, you had The Exorcist 3,
Mhm,
Child's Play 2. Was
mhm.
that 90 as well?
Yeah.
And then like a year after, you have Body Parts,
Mhm, and
and it
Child's Play
just
3 in '91.
yeah. So maybe it was just one of those he came in. I would assume a matter of days. Is that
I
bit
think
part
so.
Sally?
Yeah. And then, David Andrews, what a,
Yes.
like, role for him. I mean, just like the drifter guy coming into this dirty, dusty town, possibly on the run from something you don't know. Like you have no idea about his background, wants to earn a decent living, and then he
Mhm.
works for Warwick, who's just insane.
And yeah, I do like David Andrews. He's very low key, but I think he does a very capable job of the type of character he's playing.
Hmm.
Um, he was in another commentary we did, Terminator 3. He
That's right.
played the general,
Hmm.
the what's it, Claire Danes' dad, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yep.
I remember also seeing him in World War Z. He had a
That's
few
right.
bits with Brad Pitt in that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I agree. What was the comment? Uh, that's one of my few nitpicks. I do wish Brad Dourif survived. in the
Yeah,
movie.
agreed.
Uh, the way he just taken out was a bit weird too, because it's not the creature; it's faulty maintenance in a way.
Yeah,
It's graphic, and
yeah.
it's I like the way it's filmed, but I guess in me, I would have liked if he maybe was attacked, but you don't know he's dead, and then he shows up at the end, and the two of them kind of help each other
Hmm.
to fight the creature. I guess that's really one of my few nitpicks with it, but
Hmm.
maybe it's one of those things that he just didn't have the time to shoot, or something, or they just didn't think of that idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also like throughout the movie, I mean, everybody pretty much meets their maker, so
That's true.
you can't really get too attached to really anyone, other than I guess David Andrews,
Yeah,
um, who has acted like steadily throughout the years. I mean, Fight Club, Hannibal. I mean, he pops up in so many different films, and just one of those guys people don't really talk about too much. Oh, and
yeah. I
then
mean the blue. Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say Stephen Mocked. People probably remember him most from Monster Squad, but
Yeah, he was
he
the
also,
dad.
yeah, he also did one of the So Bad It's Good Amityville sequels. I think it's the one that's called It's About Time, and
I haven't seen that one. I've heard of it.
it's that one's directed by I think Tony Randell, who did Hellraiser 2, and what else did he do? Um,
Hmm.
Children of the Night, and I can't remember the other one.
The classic Children of the Night. Uh,
Oh, Ticks. That's what it was,
oh yeah,
which
okay.
is awesome.
Funny enough, yeah, I enjoy that film. I got it right there. It's on the shelf.
Mhm.
But yeah, yeah, there's that big guy there. That's the guy on the interview who has the hose. That's the what's his name? Robert Allen Booth. And of course, he has the Wishmaster himself, Andrew Devoff, is in this as well.
Yes, definitely. Who's always great to watch in pretty much anything.
Of course, the man there, Warwick, the evil
Hmm.
Fred Ward. I don't know who it was. But it might have been my friend Michael CP. It might have been someone else. It might have been Corey as well. One of them met. It might have been Corey. One of them met Stephen Mott and mentioned about the Fred Ward thing. He's like, I did that all the time. Yeah, he looked like Fred Ward. He does. He looks like Fred Ward in Tremors, like by evil
Hmm.
Fred Ward.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
But yeah, it's a great human villain. Human villain. I just love to hate the guy.
yeah,
You ever run the picker? Yeah, just
yeah. The picker.
fucking thing he says.
The show's over.
Why do you think this film does get so much hated?
Probably because it strays away from more of the supernatural element that people are probably used to with Stephen King stuff. There
Mm.
is somewhat of a lack of gore, maybe that's it. Um, and I mean, it is
Well,
about rats, so
you could
I
argue there's
guess
more gore here than Cujo,
that's true.
because Cujo,
Yeah,
other than some bites,
that's true. Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm not sure. His accent. I'm sorry.
But at the same time, I love it. I don't want to change at all. I love because he's just guy. You just you hate him, but you enjoyably hate him.
Mm-hmm.
The graveyard shift. I'll thank Bronson for the other super chat. Uh, I like both movies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'll go with Patriot just because it's a bit more underrated, and I
Yeah,
like rooting for the underdog. But I like both.
same here. I like both, but I actually saw the Patriot in the theater, so I'm probably gonna be a little bit more biased toward that one. I've seen that one more than Braveheart.
Yeah. What was the line Brad Dourif said? Like spread the. I forgot what he was talking to the Raz like. Spread the virus, spread the word. Like I forget. Damn, I just missed it. It was like it was a
Yeah, I
good
did
line
too.
reading. Like spread the word, fucker, or something like that. No, I don't always pick the underdog, but at the same time, you know, I am a sucker for the underdog as well,
Mm-hmm.
and not all the time, but there's a good chance where I like rooting for the underdog, and especially the films I like both, but the Patriots a bit more underrated, so I thought it was a bit faster pace as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, even I'm somewhat that way. I mean, with the choice of doing this commentary for this particular movie, the other two movies I thought like had more than found their audience and could be classified as kind of underrated, but this one for
Hmm.
sure needs a lot more attention and love, I thought. So that's why we went with this
Hmm.
one.
In all your experience, have you? I've never worked in an area like this. Have you ever worked any type of place like this throughout the years, or anything remotely like
No,
this?
no.
Would you?
Uh this place specifically, no. Way too many rats. It's just oh. I
As
mean,
a good advertise for Pepsi.
right. I mean, I do frequently go into a warehouse for part of my job because, like, although it's software development, it's still like there's hardware. So, like, there's a huge warehouse like attached to the back of the building. So you have your office area, and then you have the other half, and that's where all the parts are for different computers, printers, stuff like that. So, I mean, there's a ton of different models of all sorts of shit, and a lot of that stuff doesn't get touched. So it's a lot of really dirty stuff in there. I mean, I've seen mice in there and a couple of bats like a few times. So that's probably the closest I'll get to this. And that's the closest I want to be, honestly.
But I mean, this scene alone showcases the talent of Brad Dourif because I mean, there's probably kind of one hand how many scenes he has in this movie.
Yeah.
And this whole thing with the way the dialogue, the way he sells his story with a tear in his eye,
From one eye.
and you believe it. And just what was the line he says about not one of those burning baby fuck ups you see Bruce Dern plans to stop you grinning. Stuff like that. How they come up with this.
Talking about
Uh,
Nam.
There's a lot of these movies you had to have like some guy who's in a war and just take Nam or something like that.
And also I want to say this is probably one of the shorter Stephen King adaptations. I mean, it's only what
Quite easily,
85
yeah.
minutes. So
As I drop the remote. Yeah, it's an hour and 26 minutes. when I saw it. When I looked at the running time, yeah, like hour and 26 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty short and it's pretty uh, not a whole lot of extraneous stuff, unlike a lot of movies today.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be 2.5, 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like I don't know of really any of the Stephen King adaptations that are shorter than 90 minutes. I can't think of one anyway.
Okay then. Uh, so did you see a lot of the Stephen King adaptations when they came out? Like, are there any you saw in the theater, or did mostly you see them at home video
Um,
instead, or like you said on TV or something?
I want to say I probably saw them all either cable, DVD, VHS. And in terms of like the newer stuff, I think the
Hmm.
remake of it might have been the only thing in the theater. What about you?
Well, before, I mean, I think you watch his scene. I mean, that's a real tear coming out of the guy's eye, and
Mm-hmm.
there's more coming. And like to be able to sell this story and just make you believe in it takes a lot of talent, and that's why this guy. It's a
Mm-hmm.
shame he never really got a lot of starring roles in movies. Like even
Mm-hmm.
throughout his whole career. I mean, unless you want to talk about his voice work as Chucky, but I mean, very rarely did he get a starring role, and Brad Dourif deserves so much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he seems so jaded, honestly,
Yeah,
in interviews. And I don't want to say that he's not grateful for his career, but it's like people, oh, Chucky, you know, you did Chucky. Like he's so much more than that. Like, and
yeah,
it's just a
yeah. I mean,
real
like,
shame. Like, nobody seems to like bring up it. He's amazing pretty much everything. I can't remember a bad Brad Dourif performance, you know?
yeah. I mean, Exorcist 3, I love. Body Parts, I love, and this one, I mean, to
Mm,
repeat it, but that line is like, "I'm not one of those Bruce Dern fuck ups you see playing on TV. Those Bruce Dern guys will stop you grinning." Like Brad Dourif just sold that so well.
mhm.
Oh, lo and behold. No, I don't
Oh,
blame you. By the way, Stuntman did message you about the Death Wish stuff. He did message you about that, in case you
that's
were
right.
wondering, man. Hope you're doing well. Some people are like, why didn't you invite Uncle Bill? Well, because the other day he's like, well, I don't really remember the film, so I don't think he's seen the film. Probably since it came out or something.
Right.
But it's not really, not a film not really people talk about. But this is now one of the worst fucking Stephen King movies. I mean, we meant Thinner. And I'm not a fan of those It remakes. I'm sorry. The second one where he
Mhm.
turns to a baby and they make fun of the baby, the It baby. Fucking, he turns to a fucking baby. You go, you suck, you suck, you suck. Oh, of course, how could I forget, this great line. It was, bravo, this is sausage.
Yeah, that was
War kid.
one of many quotable lines.
God, did you sausage? Because you love to hate this guy because he's just a scumbag.
Yeah.
So different from being the dad in the Monster Squad.
Mhm.
Like very different type. Like the dad in the
Mhm.
Monster Squad you like, but in this one he's just such a son bitch
Yeah.
that just a scummy guy and is just you love to hate him.
Yeah.
He's like one of those great character performances. Yeah, I can see why it makes him laugh.
I mean, yeah, if you look at it as a comedy, I guess it works.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to see later did a baby clown turn to a clown turn to a baby and like you suck, you suck. They made fun of him into a non-existence. Where the fuck that scene was, but that's good. But this film sucked because it's got a cool creature and blue collar characters and shit. So hey, what
Yeah.
do I know?
And I'd much rather watch Stephen Mocked over Skarsgård anyway.
Oh yeah, is that the guy who played Pennywise?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, shows how much I remember that damn
He's also going to be
guy.
Eric Draven in the Crow reboot. So can't wait for that.
Here we go. Makes sense. That's understandable.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine, dude. Whenever you're ready, just let me know.
I just remember like every set location just has this element of just being dirty,
Mm-hmm.
scummy, sweaty,
Wet.
wet, all this
Yeah.
furniture. I mean, this demolished shit everywhere. This guy, this is
Yeah.
bullshit. This is just bullshit.
Could tell he
I
hates
could
his
see a
job.
guy reacting that. That's how a guy would really react in this. Like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
That's how I would react. And then I
All
would get killed right here.
all while you're still trying to do your work, you're just bitching the whole time.
Uh, and the first hint of the creature,
Mm-hmm.
which I think was the right idea to not do like a full reveal until later on. It's kind of like
Yes.
the alien thing
Mm-hmm.
where you see bits of xenomorph, but you don't see it till later.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Now hiring. And it's Backman Mill for Stephen King's pseudonym.
Ah, yeah, Richard Bachman, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a cool look on the creature where you see the face going through the wing and see it
Yeah.
as a very creepy image. And you show enough of the creature, but you don't want to blow your load early enough. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a cool, like when you do see it, it's a really good makeup effect that no one talks about. It's a really good creature effect.
Yep.
Like, I understand still people talk about all the the werewolf films back in the day and stuff, but there's not a
Mm-hmm.
lot of those type of creatures like a bat,
Mm-hmm.
rat, bat, type of creature, and it's really well done.
Yeah, and it looks better than the Werewolf and Silver Bullet. Even though I like Silver Bullet a lot, it's a much better effect.
Yeah, I do like Silver Bullet. Corey Haim is great. Gary Busey is fun. I
Mm-hmm.
do like Silver Bullet, but yeah, the werewolf is not the best looking, and but it's still a fun one of the better werewolf films.
And even the guy who plays the werewolf, is it what's his name? Is it
Oh,
Everett
it's
um,
Eric McGill from People
McGill?
Under the Stairs.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, the bat creature, this is so cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like a giant rat pig, very dirty, very threatening. Yeah, it's a cool. It's one of the more underrated creatures in this era that people again.
Mm-hmm.
And that cover you have behind sucks. Like that whole rat thing with
Oh,
the red
rat back
eyes.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that was on one of the older DVDs. I don't know why they thought that would
Mm-hmm.
sell. Like it's
Yeah.
about a killer rat with red eyes is going to give you rabies or something. Like this is a much better cover. I mean, it doesn't reflect the movie technically, but
No.
it's a
Yeah.
cool image that really sold me on when I saw it in the video store.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not it was a gas station, not a video store. It was a gas station because VHS was everywhere. But his war being addicted in, he had the new recruit
Mm-hmm.
uh, that he hired, and
Yeah, I much prefer them only having used the one creature. Um, because I think in the short story it was like several different types of like rats. Um, and the one main big rat was like a big like cow rat or some shit like that without legs or something, which sounded awful. And then like the other smaller rats were like one was a rat, one was like a snake rat or something. Like it was all different like animals mixed with variations of rat.
So in other words, the short story sucked ass.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think they
Much
took the
better.
best things about the short story and adapted it perfectly right here. Even though it's not a full on adaptation, but it's still much better.
I know Tom Savini was going to do this film like the late '80s, and then that didn't come about. Uh,
Mm.
but hey, he did Night of the Living Dead, which I like, and
Oh
Ralph L.
yeah.
Singleton, Ralph S. Singleton did this movie, which I like. So we got two movies I like. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that. I don't know if Tom Savini would have done more of what you described, like all those different creatures, and I don't know what you could if that would have the budget to do that and stuff. I don't know.
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
No, I doubt it. I mean, this was only made for like I think about 10 million. It made like 11 million or something, close to 12 or in between 11 and 12 million. So, I mean,
So
they didn't
it
really
bombed.
lose money, but it didn't really make a lot, probably like they were anticipating it to do. Stephen Mox is just Carmichael.
I know.
The way he says his name.
Just such a crazy accent he has, but I love it. Just you love to hate this guy. Like
Yeah.
imagine having him as a boss and just be so fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Just that stuff has been put on since Christ was a kid. Oh, no problem, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by last weekend. I'm always at work. We in here tonight, though. No problem, man. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you. Cool.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed your review of Evil Dead Rise, and he wasn't big on it. So I so Slippy's worked an uncut version I learned dead.
That is
Cool.
cool.
Bruiser. Oh God. Uncool. Not Bruiser. On the topic, Slipcase, Filcher, he'll never see us or hear me, but God damn it, man, find no one knows what the hell this film is. Find Murder by Phone by Richard Chamberlain. I know I brought up in one stream, and he's like, I saw that film, and it was so silly. I'm like, dude, you
But
like
he likes
Bruiser. I
Bruiser.
mean, come on. Murder by Phone is a Richard Chamberlain film where a killer who's a crazy telephone guy calls people. When they pick up, he sends electric shocks so people get electrocuted and bleed from their eyes and their nose, and it shoots
Mhm.
a beam and they blow through windows and the explosions happen. Yeah, I know it's silly, but you know what? It's a fun, goofy film that has a lot more going for than fucking what the fuck was that goddamn movie? Flesh Eater or some of his other shit. Survival of the Dead, Diary of the Dead. I love George Romero, but for fuck's sake.
Yeah, no, those are terrible.
Give me Murder by Phone. Give me Nightlife with Scott Grimes, but the asshole who owns it don't want to let it go. Give me Night of the Juggler with James Brolin. That's a really, for anyone who's never seen that film, I highly recommend it. It's a good James Brolin film, but sadly it's another one that someone owns and they don't want to fucking, they want too much money.
Mm-hmm.
I have a,
This Warwick's just great.
he about ready to smack her.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't give a fuck if there's like 50 people around.
Exactly. Oh, here comes the
And
line.
yeah, someone in the chat mentioned, yeah, at the end of the film, we're going to hell together.
Yeah. Yeah, he just snaps in the third act. It's just great. It's just so good.
Yeah, he like starts putting all his shit on his face, like
Yeah.
all this dirt and stuff, and like commando or something.
And he just starts screaming uncontrollably while he runs around.
Oh, thank you, Bronson, for the super. I appreciate the super chats, man. I appreciate it. Uh, Dramatic performance from Adam Sandler, Uncut Gems.
I was gonna
I
say
think he
that
was
too.
really impressive in that.
Hmm.
Very intense movie.
Yeah.
And no, I've never heard of Eat the Schoolgirl. Is it like Bowser eating peaches in that Mario Brothers movie? It was a crazy scene. They cut it out though, so I saw the uncut version. But he sings a song about peaches, 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 but he wants to eat the peaches like Nick Cage in Face Off. So again, I saw the uncut version before anyone saw it. So it's probably like that. So catch it out. I'm sure it's in all the furry forums or whatever the hell they're called. I think that's what they're called. So they'll be
Yeah.
out there somewhere. It'd
Yeah,
be
he
so
can eat. He
fucking
can eat a peach for
the dark
hours.
web, and then some. That's why Bowser's so pissed. Is Mario stealing his poontang pie? You don't steal Bowser's poontang pie. You don't. You don't like that shit. You don't
That
play that,
that's
homie.
definitely the uncut version.
Homie, don't play that. I would never want to work in this fucking place. Just I'd be afraid. My hand would go through this damn thing. It would be like the Mangler. I would just go
Yeah.
through and just get chopped up to bits. Or someone fucking around. Just let me turn this on just to mess with you. And
Yeah. Like he's
at least
sweating so
yeah.
much, like he doesn't have a fan or like anything. But I love like in the scene earlier, like Warwick's talking about how he's got AC in his office while
Also,
they
you
all
notice
suffer.
in his office, he's got like a punching bag. You see like a punching bag. Hey, Jesse Swarbrick, thanks for stopping by, man. More of those evil cans of Pepsi to get the animal rights more pissed. There's a minute ain't got shit on me. Bart Simpson can use a slingshot. Look at this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking rats are teleporting.
Yeah, dude, he pops up out of nowhere all the time. I love how he eats the apple too. It's just nobody eats an
I
apple
think
like
even
Warwick.
yeah. I think David Andrews, the way he handles it, it's fine because it's easy going. It's
Mm-hmm.
relatable. He's a quiet guy. You understand his situation. He's a drifter. He just wants to go in and out. He's not
Mm-hmm.
overdoing it. I also don't think there's a lot of actors I see nowadays that are pretty wooden or pretty boring. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought he worked well enough for this where he didn't have to overdo it,
Mm-hmm.
sort of playing the straight man to some of these characters like Warwick
Yeah.
and then Andrew Devoff and all these other guys.
Regular graveyard shift.
You know what this movie kind of is? You know how a lot of times you see those interviews with directors, right? John Carpenter and them.
Mm-hmm.
And they always talk about how when they were a kid, they would see these monster movies, like these 50s monster movies.
Mm-hmm.
This was our equivalent of those monster movies, like movies like this and
Yeah.
stuff where they did their jobs, what they were supposed to do, and uh, again, I think for what its purpose is, it's like okay, it's got an interesting cast. It's a short film, hour and 20 some minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It got some nice atmosphere, a good subtle creepy score, a really cool monster that doesn't give everything away. You like see a little eyeball here or some wings here. That's a unique monster, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. When Roger Corman said, "When the monster's dead, the movie's over." and Roger Corman didn't
Yes.
have anything to do with this, but it followed that formula, and a lot of movies don't go do that because they gotta be fucking 3 hours. Like Beau is Afraid, which I got a request for that, so I gotta see that fucking movie.
Have fun with that one.
Where apparently there's a fucking penis monster in it who's
Oh,
someone's
now I gotta
dad.
see it then. I gotta see it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
See
I was gonna
watching
check it
things
out anyway, but like,
sad
yeah,
and mopey for 3 hours. That'll be great. I had to see this film literally twice, and that other movie will still not be done.
right. Oh my god,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, a bit
disgusting.
like Easy Comics from the 1950s. Yeah, I see what you mean. Romero came to a lot of inspiration from his kids' Easy horror comics. Yeah, I can see
Mhm.
that. By the way, Uncle Bill, if you're here, I know we're wondering if you were going to do something tomorrow or not. If not, no worries. But we're going to drag you. We're going to make you watch X Files to end it, or something else. But it'll
That's right.
strap you in like a Clockwork Orange, and you don't suffer and go insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna message him as soon as we're done, so we can just get that done. We got to do it.
Oh yeah, and there's a mention of Castle Rock, of course, which bit
Hmm.
Stephen King mainstay.
Yep.
Let me think of some Stephen King films, so get your quick 2 cents on him.
Hmm.
Uh, The Dark Half.
Oh, great. I mean, well, put it this way. Um, when it comes down to the Alan Pangborn character, I could go either way. I like Rooker,
Mm-hmm.
but I really like Ed Harris in Needful Things, um,
Mm-hmm.
which is also Castle Rock, actually. Um,
Wasn't Michael Rooker going to be the lead in The Dark Half, but they chose?
Hutton. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember hearing that, but I'm not sure how like true that is. Like, I just remember reading
Mm-hmm.
that or hearing that somewhere.
Because I think that was on the Dark Half Blu-ray, and I think that would have been better. But I don't mind the film,
Hmm.
although it has some iffy CGI in the end with the crows and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
I
I
don't
think,
mind that film.
yeah, Hutton is great. I think, his other half, or his dark half, if you will, is really one of the driving forces of like why that movie works so well. Um, rem- I will say the direction for sure is definitely on point there. The lighting in certain scenes is really, really cool,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is kind of unexpected. It sets a completely different tone every time, like you see his character come on the screen, and he just owns the role. So I mean, even if it was Rooker, um,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I would have liked it, but I love Hutton. That's one of his best performances
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Okay. How about Needful Things?
I
That's a film
like
that
it.
was hard to watch for me. It felt. I know there's a longer cut, but
Hmm.
uh, I don't know, it felt like I don't know, it was disjointed or like Ed Harris is a star, but it feels like he disappears at times because there's all these other stories. I don't know. It felt like it was supposed to be an anthology film, but it's not an anthology film. I don't know. Just something about that uh,
Hmm.
bothered me. I can't quite put my finger on it, but go ahead.
Well, with that, I can't disagree. He does kind of disappear. Um, but I think because there's so many other great actors that are in it. Like JT Walsh has always been a favorite. I love him in
Yeah.
everything. Um, I think that sort of dynamic that he has with Max von Sydow is like just on the level. It's so fucking good. Like the line where he's like, and JT Walsh says, he's like, I kill my wife. Is that wrong? And then Max von Sydow's like, these things happen, Dan. You know, it's not maybe she deserved it. So you know, jumping around from character to character, I didn't mind so much. I mean, it is a very layered story of just a whole lot of betrayal and people.
Mhm.
Um, the need for almost like a, I don't think it's necessarily an allegory for like consumerism, but it's got a
Mhm.
lot of that in it. Um, but I think it's just more so like the want that people have for certain things. They'll do anything. And they sort of place their own emotional value in things versus actually taking control of their life or having a life. So it really, it's one of those that I saw, I think, a little bit later um,
Mhm.
in the 90s. I'm pretty sure it was on cable. Uh, the extended cut, I mean, it's a little bit more fleshed out, probably a little bit too long for some, but I like it a lot. So I've always really enjoyed that one.
Well, quick like, thanks once again, Bronze. I appreciate the super chats, man. Robin Williams, dramatic. I'll go with one that make you thought about. I'll talk about uh,
1
what
hour
dreams may
photo.
come. For me, what dreams may come, just because I think because of the subject matter
Hmm.
and it's a bit touching, but at the same time sad. Now that he's no longer with us, and showcase of grief and heaven and afterlife. I just really got behind that performance, and I thought it really showcased a lot of different attributes. So, um, but yeah, 1 hour photo is a really good one as well.
That's the one that always comes to mind for me because it was such a departure from everything else that he's done. There's so much fucking water. How is this place still standing? Like you would think that the whole like basement area would be extremely like just flooded, like it'd be water up to their neck.
Well, it's probably helped because, as we come to find out later, there's a door leading to these catacombs, and maybe all the
Mhm.
water drains into that stuff too.
That's right.
I mean, there's literally a bit where our two characters are drifting through big portions of water with that coffin they find.
Mhm.
So I think all the water went into there. I always like that's again. I like these sort of dungeon, not dungeon, but these like catacomb underground, create a sense of claustrophobia.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I always have been a sucker for that ever since I was a kid. Those type of environments. I just think the usage of all these actual rats. Again, people say I'm overplaying the idea, but
Mhm.
you don't realize how many films I see nowadays, especially in the lower budgeted field of horror, whatever, where the dumbest things get CGI'd. The dumbest things.
Yeah.
Poltergeist remake has a CGI squirrel in
Or
it.
Firestarter, the CGI fire.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't see that one. I've
Don't
heard of it though. I've heard the
don't
bad thing.
just just watch the Mark Lester film. You'll enjoy that a lot more.
I'm sure. Rodin going ape shit.
This is a
What's
giant
this?
rat tail right there. How does he miss that?
What's the timestamp we're on? Let me see. Mark might be a little bit ahead of me. I'm at 50 minutes and 50 minutes and 33 seconds.
That's where I'm at too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's weird because like I'm watching on the Blu-ray and the rat tail hadn't shown up yet. So I don't know if it's
You know what? Mine
Hmm.
didn't have the Paramount logo.
Oh,
Mine just
what was the
started.
logo at the beginning?
It didn't
Oh,
have
just
one. It
start.
just yeah, it just started.
And where were you seeing it?
I'm watching a stream of it.
Oh, stream. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, okay then. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I remember I had like an old bootleg Blu-ray, and that's how it did. It just started, and it
Hmm.
didn't have a logo at the beginning. So, oh, thank you, Bronson. Damn, you. Thanks for the super chats all night, man. Uh, baseball or sports movie in general? Sports. I don't want to say spots. Sports movie in general. Uh,
Taking Warwick's accent.
that's what it is. Uh, if it's baseball movie, I'll go with Major League. I love Dennis Haysbert, the baseball. Fuck you, Butu. I'll do it myself. But favorite sports movie, I would go with Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino
That's so
and
weird.
Oliver
I was
Stone.
thinking the same thing.
Oh, really?
I was about to say it.
But yeah, Any Given Sunday is a lot of fun. It has a great cast. James
Mhm.
Woods, Dennis Quaid, Jamie Foxx. Which I hope
Yep.
Jamie Foxx is getting better, man. I wish him the best. I
Yeah, man.
heard what happened. Well, I mean, this guy getting fired actually saved his life, so actually it worked out for the best.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the only people that live. Best be putting out your time card. That clear boy. You took like I barely remember Caligula, but I think it's weird that they put CGI in an older movie like that. Maybe it's George
Yeah.
Lucas.
Oh God. Don't get me started on him. Yeah,
How do you
isn't
feel about
today's
Star Wars,
um,
Mark?
I
Get
think
about you know what I want to hear.
fuck Star Wars.
Fuck Star Wars. Yeah, Mark. He's mentioned before. He's seen the Black Phone.
I have. I enjoyed it quite a bit. They don't take too kindly.
Maybe one of the reasons people don't like the film is because there's not a lot of quote action going on, and I guess I could see
Mhm.
that where it is a slow burn. I guess you could call it in a
Yeah.
way,
Hmm.
but I still enjoy it. Yeah, I'm not saying it's as good as Alien, but I like it in the same vein where I'm liking the group of characters, I'm liking the
Hmm.
environment, the music, all the elements in between. And then when you see the reveal of the creature, I don't think it's a letdown. I think it's a very well done effect, and I love the catacomb finale. And I thought that
Yeah.
was fairly well done, good looking area they showcased.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brosnan just shooting out the super chats. Wow, man, thank you, man. Christopher Walken performance. That's tough. There's a lot of ones that I do like. The Dead Zone's a really good one.
Hmm.
At Close Range, I like.
Hmm.
I'll go with All American Murder because if you haven't seen that, that's a very fun Christopher Walken performance
Yeah.
when he's got the bullhorn and tries to get the bad guy out by talking about how much he slept with his wife or something.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's one of the best, but it is a favorite just because he's playing such a cold blooded individual, but he still has fun in the role. And that's King of New York, where he's Frank White,
Yes,
which is a
of
very
course.
underrated Abel Ferrara film, probably his best movie.
I didn't kill anyone that didn't deserve it.
Yeah, there you go.
When the last time you been to a graveyard?
Oh no.
I think this is the one thing I disagree with the movie on. This is the one thing is that not one time does Brad Dourif ever meet the monster, see the monster, get killed by the monster. It's just
Mm-hmm.
complete, utter freak accident.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way that so makes you hate Warwick even more. Like he's like the true villain of the movie, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he
Oh
knows
yeah.
there's something going on, but he sends them all down there
Yeah.
and don't care. And then I mean, spoiler alert, it's only a film from 1990, folks. But I remember when I first saw this, being surprised that the girl Kelly Wolf gets killed.
Me
Because
too.
I just for some reason assumed okay, it'd be the two of them. I'm like, oh shit. Or a lot of times it's the female lead, like a lot of slasher
Mm-hmm.
films. Nothing wrong with that, but it seems the normal procedure.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't go that route, which I thought was surprising.
Yeah. Oh man. Brad Dourif getting it.
See, in my cut, that hasn't happened yet. He's right at the coffin and he's like hesitating. Ooh, like a zit just had popped. Well, you
Yeah.
don't see it pop, but
You see some of the aftermath.
yeah. Shit.
Then the shot of Warwick after.
Yeah. What do you think that shot means? Like he knew something happened, or he just figured something happened, or
Yeah, kind of like a suicide mission almost. Like he didn't care.
Mhm. Yeah.
Could have been his way of getting around paying him for all the work he's done with the rats.
That sounds like Warwick.
Oh God, that sandwich. Black. It's white bread, but it's black.
So it says here the film was shot in Harmony, Maine, and at the oldest woolen yarn mill in the U.S.,
Mm-hmm.
which was estimated from 1821. And the interior shots of the antique mill were in Harmony, while other scenes were in Bangor, Maine.
Mm-hmm. What you got, kids? Just again, just teleports into the scene.
Yeah, thanks once again, Bronson. Uh, Trick or treat, let the big fish hook themselves. You're the bait. The bait is you. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm glad they're getting Trick or Treat out in a 4K. So congrats
Mm-hmm.
on that. It's supposed to come out this year, apparently. So that'll be cool. I agree with that, Black.
Yeah,
Thank you, man. Makes you want to take
definitely.
50 shots after watch it. That's one of the things that appeals to me about it. Because I mean, someone mentioned it before. You, you look at a lot of movies today, and they could learn a thing or two from a movie like this in terms of making you feel, in terms of the environment, and in terms
Mm-hmm.
of the. So let me ask you: you've seen your fair share of horror movies nowadays, and the new ones. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do a lot of them seem to look either fake or phony or something about it in terms of cinematography? Not all, but some of them where is it they're overusing filters? Is it because they're shooting on digital and not film, like these films? But like they don't have the same look as these films, where I don't know how to put it. Like you see this film, you see the look of it, the lighting of it, the dirty, grimy of it. I
Hmm.
don't see a whole lot of that nowadays. Is it because they want to use filters? Is it because they want to use a lot because it's shooting on digital and that has a different effect on it? Is there some other reason that I'm not grasping? So why? To me,
I
not
think
only for yeah,
I think a lot
go
of it
ahead.
is digital. Everything is so clean now. Like everything's so polished and so clean and so perfect to the point it almost makes it somewhat hard to get into it the same way you would get into something like this. Um, Another thing is like how many horror films are actually shot on location. A lot of it is a set. And while I think a lot of those guys can do a good job with stuff like that, I think they put their all into it. They do as much as they can. It will just never surpass the real thing. Like this is the real deal right here. Um, you just can't buy that kind of production value. You just can't. It's very very tough to replicate something like that. And even more so with the cinematography, I think there's a few talented guys out there, but everything's too fucking clean.
Why do you think they make it too clean? Like, why are they
That's just
doing
the way
that?
film's made today. This is a lost art form. I think it's. I mean, I don't. I'm not one of those people that hate digital. I think certain things can work
Mhm.
in that format, but um, for horror especially, I've always been against that. Well, yeah, I mean, Cosmo, yeah, but when it comes to MCU stuff, that's just something that I kind of expect, which may or may not be a bad
Mm.
thing. I mean, with with those, I mean, you're gonna have so much CGI and stuff like that, because a lot of that stuff, there's just not really any way you can make Iron Man fly practically. So, um, I just come to expect that kind of a look. But mostly for horror films, I mean, they shouldn't look so clean. They shouldn't look so polished, and everyone has a certain look to them where it's like they're all almost too pretty. I want to say, not so much the women, like the guys. Even they look. Everybody's so clean cut. Um, like for this story, for example, like you look at David Andrews, like he looks like that guy. He looks like the drifter. He's the everyman.
Yeah,
He's the blue collar worker in the factory. Like I buy it.
yeah, and everybody else here. Like, look at Andrew Devoff. You look at Stephen Moth. You look at
Mhm,
everybody else. They just it's that blue collar feel you don't really get nowadays. I mean,
mhm,
that's why I. It's not the only reason, but it's, why I like films like Leviathan and Alien and even the Marines and Aliens and other people. Just
mhm.
something they don't really do nowadays.
I
Everyone
mean,
looks like they're from the CW.
that's exactly my point. And these guys are all from a different generation of acting. They come
Mhm.
from so many varied backgrounds of like what they grew up on or how they got into acting or what inspired them to be an actor. The younger generation of actors now, I mean, I'm not going to take a shit on everyone, but I mean,
Right.
how many younger actors are actually that good? Not at least
Mm.
in comparison to these guys, because I think there are young actors that work in their respective roles. They do, but it's just not the same. Oh, here we go with Warwick again.
But in the trailer, there's a line not in the movie where he talks about how we're a buffet or something. Like if you watch the trailer, there's actually a line in the trailer that's not in the movie. So that's another piece of deleted business that maybe showcases a little bit more of this transition from him here, the going crazy. He's wearing blackface. He's Soul Man.
Yeah,
Still see how his look.
that movie will never come out. People ask for that one all the time. I'm like, that's not coming out. It's just probably
Okay,
best
what comes
left
out
to.
first, Soul Man or Song of the South?
You know what's funny? I actually like both. I don't have a problem with both. I like C. Thomas Howell, so but
Right.
I could see how people would have a problem with it. I don't know. Probably Soul Man has a better chance. Um, I don't think that's owned by Disney. I'm not sure who owns it, but you know, with Song of the
Right.
South, like that's Disney's not going to touch that.
Maybe Severin. Maybe they'll get so they can close
Yeah,
the doors forever.
or Vinegar Syndrome. They might. I think they've got the balls to do it.
Uh, you know what? I mean, I know this is off tangent. I actually never seen Song of the South, so I don't know what the. I know Zippity Doo Dah, and that's it. So I don't know the whole
Mhm.
deal behind it. So I just know that the guys at BitPit mentioned it. Uncle Bill got, I think he got like nervous or something because CK kept bringing it up or something.
Yeah, it's more than suggestive, that movie. All the themes.
Although to be fair, I mean, again, not to go off too track. You ever seen a movie called The Aristocats?
Uh, was that from the
There's
90s?
these two Siamese cats that are so Asian that just
I remember,
Siamese,
yeah.
if you please. I'm like,
Yeah.
did you ever see that movie with those two fucking cats?
Yeah.
That because
Yeah.
they're Siamese, like this. I was surprised you didn't hear that, you know, behind the fucking cats. Oh, thank you, Bronson, once again. You've been very kind, man. Uh, oh, the guy from Full House. Yeah, I'm sure he can. Yeah, he did a lot on it. Um, I'm sure he could. There was a thing online though, not him, but another who tried out for a. It was like his audition for like a Robin Williams biography. I forget the actors, like a younger guy, and it was like doing a version of Mork and Mindy, but like behind the scenes, and it was like people talked about like he's like the best Robin Williams impressionist, but then he was doing a serious part. It's on YouTube. It's like Robin Williams audition, but it's like a guy. He seemed like Robin Williams. I forget the actor's name, but he
Hmm.
did a amazing job. I wish I could remember the name, but uh, he was just uncanny. And people are like, yeah, if you don't want to do a Robin Williams biopic, get this guy. Were they Lady and the Tramp? Maybe it was Lady and the Tramp. See, that shows how much I remember those movies. Maybe it was Lady and the Tramp. I guess I got a cast of recipients. So maybe it's well, if it's Lady and the Tramp, I mean that's a more popular movie. So even this, like they don't cancel Lady and the Tramp. They don't cancel
Yeah,
that fucking movie.
it's been so long since I saw those, most of those as a kid, so yeah, it's been a while. We skipped over the Carmichael demise. And that was a great bit.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I didn't
uh,
mind that effect with his hand and what they did with that.
yeah, and then you have the little like chunks of meat like flying off as he's swinging it around. Carmichael.
Yeah, the guy I was talking about was Jamie Costa, Costa. Jamie Costa's Robin Williams like test footage.
Hmm,
Um,
okay.
Pretty uncanny for those who want to see that. This has always been my favorite scene. I think just when I think of the movie, I think of this scene with Andrew Devoff where it's just the reveal. I think I like the buildup of it.
Yeah.
I like the I don't know when I think of like monster reveal. This always pops in my head
Hmm. Well,
where
it's
it's
the first like full on shot, right? Of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think just the way Andrew Deval plays it as well,
Mm-hmm.
and the anticipation. I think the music helps a lot too,
Yeah.
and the way it's lit.
Oh my god. Yeah, so many of these locations here, like it's got that claustrophobic feel. It's almost like where the hell did they put the camera or the crew? Like
Yeah,
it
that's
seems like
true.
everybody's just like crawling around on all fours, like trying to shoot this movie.
Blast Blast Radius says, "I'm black. I never had a problem with songs or so man. Don't see what the big deal is." Well, to be
That's
honest,
what I mean.
the most
Like
people, the people that complain the most are white guys. To be honest, that's what I've seen. Maybe not. I don't know. I think there's a matte painting, but I miss matte paintings. That's sort of an art that died off,
hmm
replaced with CGI.
yeah,
But I always loved matte paintings.
it's a lost art. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
How the fuck was he like buried under all that stuff? I'd rather just bleed than get like anything from down there put on an open wound. You're like, that's so awesome.
I look at
Mhm.
that villain being villainous. If there's a lady, don't matter. You don't punch you in the face, punch you in the gut. It don't matter. There's now it's like he can't do this. Too mean. He's the villain though, but it's too mean. So he's a fucking villain ready to kill, but you're complaining that he's too mean. Like, come on now. Some nice stoneware. I mean, they're really throwing their bodies around throughout all
Yeah,
this.
he like dies like Raiden. But yeah, Kelly Wolf dying. I remember always being surprised by that as well because it's the it's the death you don't expect. You don't really
Right.
see it coming. It's I don't want to say it's a cliche, but the guy and the girl usually make it, or just the girl. So it was a nice surprise.
And starting to the '90s, you saw quite a few, fun creature feature films that came into the play during this period.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, from, of course, this one, and Tremors the same year.
Yes.
Throughout the years, you had Deep Rising, The Relic, Mimic, Anaconda.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, One I like called Death Machine. Uh,
Oh yeah. Also with Brad Dourif. That's Stephen Norrington, right?
yep, Stephen
Good movie.
Norrington. Which Tino said they're doing, but
I saw that.
I don't trust Tino because he said a lot of things that never happened. So we'll see. But that'd be nice if it gets a U.S. release.
Yeah,
because it
it
was released,
deserves
but it
it.
was overseas. Yeah,
Hmm.
Death Machine is a very unique movie.
Yeah, it's also got Richard Brake in there too, and he
Hmm.
gives a really solid performance. He was really nice. I met him. He's a really cool guy.
So it was in the cigarette smoking man.
Oh, yeah, just polar opposite.
I mean, it's such a cool looking creature, and it looks
Hmm.
great in the HD. See, you can't get more real than real, and practical will hold up a lot better than CGI. Because you look at like this is 1990. I
Yeah.
still think these effects look great. The way they put the gloop on, the glisten, and
Yeah.
reflect the with the lighting, and then the way Warwick
Mhm.
fucking
He's biting the creature.
su- such a just one of the more underrated looking creatures,
Yeah.
and Warwick just a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. That's funny. Like out of every part of it to stab, he's like, "I'll stab the wing of the creature." And I don't know if you could see it or if you caught it in that shot where the creature has him wrapped up. Like you could see like the hooves or whatever, like digging into the rib cage of Warwick. It was a nice
Yeah,
severed rib effect there.
yeah, I agree. The Blob 88 House had a nice surprising death. Yeah, first vid. Yeah, you guy would think the Stormy the hero isn't the hero and all that stuff. Plus, they
Hmm.
kill a kid in that movie, so yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. What's the last good creature feature that you saw that had like a mainstream or like theatrical release?
Creature feature. Trying to remember. Maybe, maybe Crawl, the Alexander Aja movie, because that was what
Hmm.
2019.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if there's anything in between, like creature feature was. I mean, I liked Nope. I did like Nope. I guess that's a creature feature because it's an alien. Well, that's an alien as well, but
Hmm.
it's a creature feature. So I did like Nope, which I know people like still don't believe that I did, but I did like Nope. But
That was a fun watch. I saw that in IMAX. The first thing I thought of it when I saw it coming out, I was like, "This is pure spectacle," and that's exactly what Jordan Peele said he wanted it to be. He wanted it to be a spectacle, and I think he definitely accomplished that with the shooting a lot of it in with the IMAX camera.
yeah, yeah, I thought that was very good looking. Oh, well, ironically enough, and there you go, right there.
Nice. Yep. Yeah, I bought it too. Um, yeah, I have the 4K
That's
in the other
awesome.
room, and I don't think. Actually, I take that back. There is his second movie. I didn't get that one. Us.
Hmm.
I didn't really like it that much, but you know.
Neither did I.
Oh, you didn't either.
No, fuck us. This is fucking
I
the
don't get the
fucking
love
ending
for it.
with the "We Are the World" type of ending, or where the fuck it is. Like if it was, we are the holding hands across America, or
Yeah,
where the fuck it was.
yeah, dude. They were underwater holding hands. I'm like, dude, wouldn't they drown? Like, how does that work?
You got me.
And some really good shots of the creature right here.
It's almost definitely. Now I don't know
That's
why he
awesome.
doesn't just get up and run to the button instead of doing the slingshot, but because that his legs are, it's not like the legs are hurt. He could get up and just run and hit the button, but
Yeah.
it works better dramatic wise in this. Idea, idea why. He misses and credits. That'd be a
Yeah.
different ending. But yeah, I love it. I love the way the creature's done. It's not. I like when a creature gets blown up, but this is a different way. You're getting completely
Hmm.
eviscerated and eaten up. It gives a nice different death to a creature. Because, like I said, understandably so, a lot of times they blow it up.
Hmm.
Jaws, of course, and other stuff. But
Yeah.
it's a very nice, gory death. Some good practical effects
Yeah.
used in this.
Yeah. You get all of your bloodletting right here in the final shot. Now hiring under new management.
And plus, the creature's still there, so he's got evidence, so you can't pin it on him. I
Hmm.
mean, you don't believe me? Look at that. That's a big fucking creature's head. What do you think that is? A pig? I think that's just a fucking. And then you get that rap song,
Yeah.
which I love the
The
rap.
sound bites from Warwick are what make it awesome. It's almost like they wanted to go with their own version of like the Pet Cemetery end credits song. They wanted to
Oh
include the
yeah,
name of it. I think that's the Ramones Pet Cemetery.
yeah,
This is like their version, which I think was only like a year apart um, with Pet Cemetery
yeah.
and
That was
this one.
'89.
Hmm.
That was '89. This is '90. And yeah, I mean, look at that, an hour and 22 minutes.
Hmm.
How refreshing it is compared to today's age, where again, it's got to be like, let's have a stream film that's over 2 hours, like
Yeah.
Stream Six was. Which I saw that film. That film sucked. I hated it.
Did you?
Fucking hated it.
Well, now that this is over, what's your
Yeah,
thoughts on the franchise as a whole?
on Stream.
Yeah, like where it started
Oh,
from where it's gone to like where it is now. Like,
I think it should have ended as a trilogy, and that's it. I don't think you need to do any more.
hmm.
And I think it's past its expiration date. It's just the rules of movies, doesn't fucking matter. You might as well just say there are no rules, there you go. Because that's all it is. The last couple movies, there are no rules. There are no. I mean, then why the fuck are we having a conversation about rules when it's all there are no rules? So why are we having a conversation again? You like this is the same conversation you've had like 3 times now. Rules, there are no rules. Great. So why the fuck are we having a conversation about rules in the first place? Just because the first film did it? And fuck the new characters. Fuck the mannequin who stars in it, whatever the hell her name is, Sam the Man Mannequin. Uh, well, I
You're
guess I can't.
Melissa
Have you seen
Barrera.
Strange Six?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know of the spoil. I didn't know, but I guess spoilers. I mean, I'm going to put the review up sometime soon, but the fucking guy got stabbed like 20 times and then he comes out perfectly fucking fine. Like, apparently knives don't work anymore to people.
No, they don't.
Everyone gets stabbed in the gut and it's fine.
Yeah.
One falls from a root, not root. One falls and lands on a knife, and she just stabs someone in the mouth, and it don't matter. She got stabbed, generated. She just, it's fine. CGI Steve Ulrich looking in a fucking reflection, trying to hide that he's a lot older. So it's CGI
Hmm.
to hide that this dead guy's a lot older. And Dermaroni, I like him as an actor. He's awful in the movie, and
Performance was terrible. I couldn't believe he was that bad. I'm like, why the fuck would they? Why is that the take? Like, You could have had at least had him do it over and over to try to get a better like take, but apparently he didn't really take the material serious, which I guess in that case, how could you? But
And that movie doesn't make any sense if you think about it for 5 fucking minutes.
yeah,
I
dude, like
mean,
I was in the theater
yeah,
and like the reveal, I'm not gonna say who the killers are or anything like that, but when the one
cool.
person's revealed as the killer, they have the gun in their hand. And I think um Jenna Ortega has the knife. And he charges at her and I'm like, use the gun, dude. Like what you're holding a gun. Just shoot her. So many moments throughout that movie. I was just like, huh? What? So I mean, but again, it's part 6 of a slasher franchise. I don't expect too much out of it anyway. So
Yeah, it just to me there did not need to be 6 movies. And
no.
when you have the phrase "don't have a better movie in your movie."
Hmm.
When that's Friday 30 Part 8, there's a problem, and that's a better movie than Scream 6.
Well, like I said, I'm that's a guilty pleasure for me. I like part 8, so yeah, I'll
So
agree.
I would put Part 8 above Scream 6 as well. So I agree with that.
Yeah, one of the interesting parts of
Get to that in a
I'll
minute. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say I do want to talk about that too. The opening of the film was interesting, I thought, where you have
Yeah, I agree.
the reveal, and I'm like, I think I texted one of my friends. I'm like, dude, they're doing something different. But like 30 minutes in, I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, never mind. I was so hopeful, like maybe if they can stick the landing with this, this could be one of the better sequels. And they did not stick the landing with that. So a great opportunity, very cool idea conceptually, but in the end, that did not like pan out well at all.
no. But we're quick like thank you, Blast Radius, for that super chat. The writer's strike, I don't know. I mean, I don't think a lot of movies nowadays have much writing in them anyway. So, I mean, I there are a couple films I liked, sure, but I'm not really caring
Mhm.
what happened. I mean, I've said if Hollywood went down to tubes tomorrow, I wouldn't shed a lot of tears because I got a lot of movies I like already,
That's
and I
right.
got enough to last my life. So
Yeah,
it doesn't
definitely.
affect me anything. So, how about you?
I think it's a shame that they can't just pay them more. I mean, they might as well. When you see certain actors and actresses getting paid ungodly amounts of money just to do a film, um, the writing should be like they should be getting paid a lot. I don't see why, especially if the screenplay is worth it. But what's funny is you don't you don't even see like the writer directors complaining. And I think they make up enough like money on the back end of their movie where like they don't have to join in. So those guys are fine, but the individual writers, that sucks for them. I mean, I'm all for Hollywood continuing. I wish it was in a better place. There are good films that come out. They're few and far
Yeah,
between, but I still think writers should be getting paid more.
that's
I think
fair.
they're always overlooked. I think the directors always get the most credit. So the least the writers could get is like a better payday.
Yeah, yeah, I do definitely understand that. Uh, but I mean, it seems like there's always been writer strikes throughout the years, and
Hmm.
it'll happen for I don't know, a month or two or so, and then it'll get settled, and then it'll go back to normal. And give another year or two or three or five, and there'll be another
It'll be another
writer
one, yeah.
strike. There's plenty of writer strikes throughout the years, so it's not the first, it's not the last. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'll be on for a little bit longer. I don't know what your schedule is, if you need to head out or stuff, or if you're busy with stuff, or
No, I'm good to hang out, man.
so we're just pretty much for people out there. You feel free to ask anything and such. Just got done watching Graveyard Shift. Still enjoy the film.
Mm-hmm.
What are your final thoughts on the film? If you have any
Still,
like final some.
still holds up. I mean, I think it always will. Um, for a film that had like a rushed production, I think that almost benefited, or let me rephrase that. It was beneficial that it was a rush job because had they had more time, I don't think it would have been done like the way that it was. I think that because it was a rush job, we got the product of Graveyard Shift that we got. It just so happens that they turned out something that was actually quality. Um, I mean, of course, the production value and all that stuff would have been there, but just the tight editing, you get just enough of character interactions and some slight exposition on certain things, at least in terms of character. I wouldn't say development, but just you just get a good grip on who they are as people.
Enough for
Uh,
their personality to
yeah,
be
you get enough
showcased.
of it. Yeah, yeah, and for a short film, that's really good. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to me, it's a fun monster movie to watch late at night or with a group of buddies. You get
Hmm.
a
I
blue
agree.
collar cast that you can relate to.
Yeah.
You get a fast pace, a short running time that doesn't overstay its welcome, which a lot of people don't know how to do that.
Hmm.
Uh, Fun actors like Brad Dourif, especially Warwick, just
Oh yeah.
hilarious sincerely throughout it.
Yeah.
A cool creature, a cool finale, and
Hmm.
no BS at the end that has two or three different endings or overextends itself and
Yep.
goes into weird subplots out of the blue like some movies do. Like, where the hell did that plot come from? Because there's a few movies that are just like, well, this came out of nowhere. What the fuck did this have to have anything to do with the rest of the movie?
Hmm.
Uh, so
And yeah, they knew how to end it. There wasn't anything tacked on, nothing extra, just standard three act structure, and you get in and get out and have a good time. That's what movies should be. Yeah, I see
Jedi Zilla,
some.
you're asking. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just looking at the chats. People are really liking it. That's cool. I'm glad you guys like it.
Yeah, it's glad to see some fans in there.
Hmm.
Uh, but I mean, it's a film that has a limited fan base. I
Hmm.
mean, we had like I don't know 20 people, which isn't a whole lot, but I mean, I'm glad that some people at least showed up because it's just a film that not
Yeah.
many people talk about or think about. It's not Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff,
Right.
but it's still a personal favorite of mine, and
Hmm.
uh, I would guess of Mark's as well, and
Oh yeah.
still a fun movie.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean,
Jedi Zilla, yeah, go ahead.
I think we got a lot more of a turnout for for Alien Resurrection, which I could see why. It's part of a big franchise. I think there's more fans of Resurrection than there are of this film. Um, as far as
Well, also
Alien
I noticed
goes,
that
go
for
ahead.
real quick with me, people like for me, people like if I yell at stuff than if I actually like it. If I actually like something, they don't give a shit. But if I don't like it, then people more give a shit.
Hmm.
I mean, that's at least people care about something, but that's just the truth. It's like, is he yelling about this? No, fuck this. I ain't watching it.
Yeah,
So but it is what it is.
yeah.
At least it's something, I guess. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, if you need something to yell about, um, what about the Alien TV show? You gonna watch that?
No.
No. What if
I guess if it's
if they request it? Yeah.
yeah, if it's requested,
Okay.
sure. But for most part, if it's requested, sure. But am I looking forward to it? No. I don't know what
Gotcha.
you need. The TV show was pretty much I got a taste of it in those short films. Remember when they did all those short films?
Hmm.
And I that didn't really do much for me either. I mean, yeah, they're short films, but just I didn't really care much for them. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah. I think is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I got the Brad Dourif dilemma. Yeah, for them, people just hear about Chucky. Yeah,
Yeah. I just the franchise is over for me as well. Now, if like it comes out with raving reviews and it's acclaimed to the heavens, like it's a must see, and they've done something you'd never believe possible, and it's very unique, or they come up with something interesting, maybe I'll give it a shot. But um,
to me, that's the
I
death knell because they said that about Prey. And I'm like, I didn't like
pray.
Prey, so the Predator film Prey.
Oh, dude, I
Oh, this is the
forget
best
about that
Predator
movie
movie.
all the time. I forgot about that. Yeah,
You're like Prey. What's Prey?
that just goes to show you, like, people were saying it was the best one since the first, and I'm like, nah, not even
A lot of people are
close.
saying better than the first. That's the best Predator movie.
That is just absurd. Yeah, no. I didn't hate it, but it's whatever. I'm dude. There's no dialogue. They don't really even. There's probably like maybe 20 to 30 pages of actual dialogue in that movie. So I mean, the rest is all action, which might sound good, but it's just it's just there. Like I didn't. I mean, I like the references to Predator 2. That was cool because I love
Yeah.
Predator 2. But other than that, I mean, I kind of know what they're doing. I mean, it's a cash grab. That
Mm.
that studio does not care about the franchise. They have an IP that's worth something. They're trying to make money off of it, just like the new Alien movie, and then as well with the series. So yeah, it's all whatever. There's so many like continuations to everything. Like it's so it's not annoying per se, but it's frustrating because a lot of these films that are in production, something like Cliffhanger 2, um, does that need to happen? I don't think so.
No,
And
not at all.
what's up with Stallone? Like, why is he doing a sequel, a reboot, a spinoff to everything? I saw him talking about Demolition Man too, and I'm like, dude, no, don't. Like, it's I love Demolition Man. I love Cliffhanger. Again, Michael Rooker, John Lithgow, just good stuff. But like, don't keep doing this. I'd rather you make new movies that are like Escape Plan or some shit than just to keep doing sequels. At least Escape Plan is new. Like that's not a retread. But what do you think it is? Do you think the wells run dry with Stallone? I mean, is he just grasping at straws now for like the stuff that people remember or are fond of from
Mm.
his glory days? I mean, I, it's so weird to see him in this position. I mean, he's even doing the fucking like we already talked about this, but the Paramount Plus reality show, like what's going on there?
Well, I mean, I think he should just keep doing stuff like Tulsa King. I think that's more better usage of his talents.
Hmm.
I think the reason he's doing this, I think he absolutely wants to hope to stay relevant. And for him to stay relevant is to get back into movie theaters. And the way they get
Uh,
back into movie theaters is a property that people know of because he's done this many times before, sometimes
mhm.
successful. back in the day in the 2000s when his films were not doing well and they're going straight to video, and he was doing stuff like Avenging Angelo, which was bad.
Yeah.
What did he do? He brought back Rocky Balboa, Rambo 4. Those were good.
Mm-hmm.
Then that led to doing the Expendables, died down in the theaters. Then you have Bull in the Head and
Right. Yeah.
Grudge Match, and then things fell off. Then things were doing, he was doing stuff like Bat Trace and these fucking films. So what? Well, he was like part of the Creed films and then do a new Rambo film. So yeah, Rambo 5, Last Blood.
Mm-hmm.
And now that he's in this fix of, I mean, like other than Tulsa King, okay, he's in Guardians of the Galaxy 3,
Oh
but he's,
yeah,
you know, not
that's
the
right.
star or anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, how do I become more relevant? How do I get a film in theater? Oh, well, Creed, not going to do any more Creed films because of Erwin Winkler. Rambo 5 kind of, if the well wasn't dry yet, that dried it all to the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, Cliffhanger, Demolition Man, okay. Uh, no, I don't look forward to those films at all. I mean, I don't think, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get made. I mean, I remember there was going to be a Cliffhanger remake years ago with Jason Momoa in it,
Wow.
and that
Okay.
never came to be.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, Stallone's 76 years old.
That's true.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, Cliffhanger 2, I guess they got a director and such. I mean, I don't know what's he going to do. Is it going to be like in it for 10 minutes and passing the torch? Or
Mm-hmm.
what? I think it's his way of wanting to, in his mind, stay relevant, and in his eyes, is to have a movie in the theater. And what's going to be more in the theater? A sequel reboot that's probably going to be like a remake of the first, but it's it's the Force Awakens Jurassic World version of Cliffhanger.
Mm.
Jurassic World is a sequel, but it's pretty much a remake of Jurassic Park. Force Awakens is a sequel, but it's a remake of Star Wars, A New Hope. So maybe that's going to try to do with Cliffhanger, and then Stallone, either he dies or, well, he always says he's going to die in a movie, then it never happens. But it could be he's like in it for like throughout it, but maybe it's like some people mention like the Bruce Willis bit where, or like Bat Trace, where he's in the tower, he's on the phone, he talks, he films like 5 days or 2 days, maybe 3 days worth. He's on a phone or he's on a radio, and some
Mm-hmm.
other guys doing all the stuff. And
Right.
why do I care to see that? I wouldn't be surprised. It's like him in the tower, and I've been through this before, and blah blah blah. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, and it'd be a guy or a girl or both the leads now, and I don't care. It's not needed. It's not wanted. It's not desired by anybody.
Mm-hmm.
No one's looking forward to it. So, like a lot of things, it's a stupid idea.
Yeah, like Gladiator too.
Which doesn't make sense because who's starring in it?
I have no idea.
Because Russell Crowe's character died at the end. I hate to be the spoiler alert, police, but he he
Yeah, I mean,
died at the end.
yeah, it was only 23 years ago. If you haven't seen that by now. um, yeah, it's they kind of got out of the full-on remake trend somewhat. Now everything's very cyclical. Like it's all in cycles. They now the thing is sequels and I guess they call it requels, sort of. So yeah, that what's another one? Beetlejuice 2. Why? Just leave it. I like the first one, but
Yeah.
that's so long ago. I'd rather them had done another Batman movie. Like I think somebody brought that up in the chat the other night. Do that.
Well, you got this. The Flash. It's a new Batman movie.
Oh boy.
Michael Keaton says, "Let's get nuts," because I
Yeah,
guess that's a catchphrase now.
yeah, he's just talking about Ezra Miller. That's what that is. But it's really disheartening. I mean, Stallone, I love the guy, but man, it's
Yeah.
we're not in a good place with him. Um, and then all the other guys, I don't know what they're doing, but I think when we talked last time, we talked about this was after the show ended. We talked about what's coming up for the year in terms of action stuff. What do we have? Like, there's so little to like nothing. I mean, there's only a handful of movies, and I
Hmm.
mean, it's hard to see any like originality anymore. I mean, we couldn't even think of like too many creature features that had come along. Where are those? That's another like subgenre. It's like I don't think there's very many coming out this year, if any, probably a couple, but
Yeah, I mean, the few I think of in the past couple of years for creature features, like I don't know, you remember that movie Underwater, Kristen Stewart?
mhm,
And that was a few years ago. Um, Nope, in a way, was,
right.
uh, but not as often as it was back in the day. No, not at all. Now
Yeah.
it's don't go straight to Sci-Fi Channel or streaming, the
Mhm.
800 streaming places that need content, so they just put it on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they want the guaranteed moneymaker. I don't know what happened to them taking gambles on things anymore. Like that's why it seems like we don't have enough original stuff coming out. And if it does, then like it's completely formulaic. It's like a AI bot wrote the damn script and the director's a gun for hire. The actors are very subpar. I hate to sound so downbeat, but I mean that's just the state of the business, you know. I can't make this shit up.
No, I mean you got a point, and you got a good point, Sally. That is the truth of the matter, Sally. That is the case. That stuff just continues to happen, and there's really not that many. I mean, other than vote with your wallet. It's not a whole lot you can really say to counter that. Where I mean, people say, "Well, what's the answer for it?" I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you what the answer to that would be. And I mean, Evil Dead Rise apparently is a classic. All these other movies. So that's the message of today, is that those are the ones that people want to see. Those are the ones that people are gravitating towards. Those are the ones that uh, what I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't know. I wish I could have a better answer to that, but
Yeah.
it's
I
probably
I
just how it is.
I agree with well, it's not necessarily a point, but the question from Jack, is it Jack Frost? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like that looks really cool. That's a original take on something, the Gran Turismo movie. Um
Mm,
I mean it's more so based off of a real life story. So that's cool.
hmm.
But I don't know how many times I'm going to rewatch something like that. I can't see a lot of people rewatching something like that. Is it even going to get a place on your shelf, Jack Frost? Would you buy that movie? Let's say it's great. How many times are you really going to watch a Gran Turismo movie? I mean, unless you're like a big NASCAR or racing fan, I guess. But that's more so what I mean. Like, where are the real movies? Like, that might be a great film, but still, I just want something more. I want Predator 2 again, and I don't mean that specifically. That's more metaphorical.
Right, yeah.
I want aliens again. I want that type of film again, but I don't get it. So I try really hard to stay at a low expectation for pretty much everything, and that's kind of a sad state to be in as a movie fan. You don't want you want I want to be excited for stuff, but when you go in like and it's shit, then like it's like, well, there's another waste of 2 hours or 3 hours, which everything's long nowadays. So, I don't know. Just reading some
Yeah.
comments here.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I've liked some movies this year. Uh, well, okay, if I'm thinking of like this year, are there movies I've liked? Yeah, I would say so far I've liked. I'm trying to think of the films that come out this year.
Creed 3.
I know, huh?
Creed 3, right? I remember you saying that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually did like that movie. I know, surprise. I was not a fan of the first two, but I did like that one because I just liked the story more, and I thought the characters were done a bit better compared with the first two. Missing, I didn't mind. Was sort of in the style of Searching with John Cho. I didn't mind that. Didn't mind the new Mario Bros. Movie as what it was, just a fun
Mhm.
80-minute advertisement. It was as like
An
it
80-minute
is, but I
commercial.
mean, yeah, that it is what it was. But was it fun? Sure, it was fun. Uh, Not classic, no, not close, but it's fun.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's like even though those films I mentioned was not a lot, am I going to buy them? No. Saw them once, liked it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I know a lot of people say that about me. I just mentioned like 3 or 4 movies I like, but it'll always be the case if you're honest about stuff.
Hmm.
Like because you didn't like Stream Six. No, so I thought Stream Six sucked. You'll hear more about that later, folks. But
I can't wait for
uh,
that review.
uh, have you liked any films this year?
Um, I'm trying to think of what came out this year. You know what's so funny? Like, I've been to the theater this year. I can't really even remember what I saw. That's bad.
So yeah, I know you said I think you've seen Cocaine Bear.
I didn't go
I
to the
think.
theater to see that, but I did see
Oh, not the
that.
theater. Okay.
It's okay.
John Wick 4. You like more than me. I know
Which
you saw
movie?
that movie, John Wick 4.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Um, didn't like Evil Dead Rise really. We already talked about Scream 6.
Scream 6.
Um, I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna see what else came out this year. Give me a minute. That's really bad. I can't even remember.
Well, okay, I'll give the list of movies that come out, whether so far. Now, whether people have seen them or not, I'll just say the names. So that just makes it easier. In January, there was Badian,
Hated it.
the doll movie. Yeah, I did. I know the guys that did like it. That's each their own.
I was so
I,
shocked. I'm like, what the hell? You guys like this movie? But
I
whatever.
just wasn't for me.
Me
Fucking
either.
TikTok dancing doll.
Yeah.
Uh, some of these I haven't seen. To be fair, Nick Cage Western, The Old Way.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Uh, Plane. That's the Gerard Butler action film.
Mhm.
House Party remake with LeBron James in it.
No comment.
I I mentioned Missing, which I liked.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I keep
did
forgetting
you
about that one.
did you people come out this year? I forgot that came out this. I thought it was
It
last
did.
year.
No, that was
It
this
was
year.
this year. Oh my
Mhm.
god! So I did see that one.
Me too. Didn't like it.
Je- Jesus. So, I thought it was I thought it was like December or no, damn. That movie sucked. Bunch of movies that I've heard of. Not Get the Cabin. I didn't mind for what it was.
Okay.
Batista in particular. Um, and compared to other M. Night Shyamalan films I hated, I didn't hate Knock at the Cabin, I will admit.
Yeah. I mean, I fucking hated Glass so much. So
Yeah,
I just, dude,
yeah,
is
I
that
hated.
how you do a character? Like a really good character? I'm not gonna say it like, I mean, I don't know if you have a
Right.
review of that one up. I don't want to spoil the ending, but
I
what the
did.
fuck?
Uh, I did. YouTube was it was the video got messed up, but I've seen the film. I hated it. I hated the way it ended. I hated what they did to the characters, and just one big old, not even big, just a little puddle. I was been a puddle of piss.
Yeah, or a puddle of his
Fucking
own tears. I don't know if you saw that, like he was crying about the reviews because people shit all over the movie. Yeah, M. Night said he
well,
cried about the reaction people had to Glass. I'm like, dude, you made it. Like, what the fuck are you expecting? Like, it's like it's a bad movie. I don't know what you want people to say.
fuck. I hated Glass. Um, yeah, poor M Night. He only made some money off this, but poor M Night.
Right. You only
Uh,
made a few $1 million, but whatever.
Real quick, like, thank you, Psycho Hobo. Stephen King, yeah, he's 75 years old, still producing work to this day. Maybe not as much, he just never stops. That's cool. I still don't agree with him on Graveyard Shift and a lot of other movies. I
Yeah.
disagree with him on it, but that's cool. He's still in there working. Congrats on that. I know his son as well. Joe is
Mm-hmm.
working on stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats on that.
Do you like horns?
I have to see that again. I don't remember hating it. I
Okay.
have to see that again. I know it's the one with from Harry Potter. His name,
Daniel Radcliffe.
yeah. I do appreciate that he's taking interesting roles. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to see that again to give a better opinion on it. But yeah, I mean, like, let's see what else had come out after Knock at the Cabin. Bunch of things I've never even heard of. Ant-Man 3, that sucked.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear. Children of the Corn, which I didn't see.
Oh, dude, I
The remake.
forgot about that too. Shit, that was this year. Wow. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either. I didn't even bother.
Of course, we talked about Scream 6. I mentioned Creed 3, which I actually did end up liking it. 65, I didn't see. I didn't think it looked that interesting to
It's
me.
not.
It's not okay.
It's fucking bland milk toast. It's so shitty. Like I'm sorry.
Go
Like
for it.
I mean,
Tell me weird.
if people like it, that's fine. I could see some things that they could like about it, but man, like it reminded me of that movie. Came out a long, well, not a long time ago. I think it was like 2012 or 2013. That John Carter movie. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Just bland. Like
Oh
they didn't
no.
go far enough with it. It was very, very
Mm.
mild. I'm good on that movie. I didn't really want to watch it anyway, but I was with somebody else, so I was like, maybe. And yeah, it wasn't worth it.
let's see what else you got. I didn't see Shazam 2. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
John Wick 4. I'll just move on. I was just very disappointed. Dungeons and Dragons, I didn't see. That looked like a Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff, but with dragons.
Mm-hmm. No, just
Uh,
skip.
the Mario Brothers movie, I had fun for what it was. It was short. It was colorful. It was pretty. There's really no story. There's really no characters. But was it fun? Sure. But I actually will take the '93 film over it because I find that more interesting.
Yeah,
That's just me, though.
yeah, I like it still.
Uh, Funny they have all these films. I don't know what the hell. That's the thing. Like you get all these films, and it's like, what the hell is praise this, showing up, paint, like these fucking titles is like the Pope's Exorcist. I didn't see with Russell Crowe. I've heard
Mm-hmm.
nobody talk about it
I watched a
or say
review
anything
of
about
it, um, but I mean, they basically said that it's exactly what you think it is if you've seen the trailer. So I didn't
it.
expect anything out of that one either, and I haven't seen it, so I won't say if it's good or bad. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever watch it.
And then Beau is Afraid, which I'm gonna have to see that film soon. So
Mm-hmm.
I am looking forward to that 3 hour Ari Aster comedy, whatever it
Get
case
your
it may
popcorn
be.
ready.
Evil Dead Rise, which I still haven't seen, but I believe you and Uncle Bill 110%. I believe in what you say, and I think I would feel the same. Since
What
you
can I
haven't done a
say?
review of Evil Dead Rise,
A waste
what's
of
your
time.
thoughts on the movie?
A waste of time. Just watch the original trilogy or watch the show. To me, like it's a lot like a lot of these other reboots or remakes, whatever you want to call it, requel. If you can't do anything better, then don't do it. At least make it as good or as entertaining. Then you have something. But to me, it strictly feels like they're trying to make something out of nothing. Um, there's not
Mm.
really anything there to do. I mean, ask anybody in the chat. Ask yourself how many times do you need to see someone open a book, hear a translation of it, and then get possessed and just kill people? That's all it is. And you've seen it done better already. So why watch it again? That's the best and most honest review I could give it. Like and like I said, it's just there's nothing there. It wasn't well done. I thought it was
Mm.
very mediocre. As far as effects go, I could still take it or leave it. I think there's better effects even in the show. So nothing about the dialogue was really 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 bad. Just really
Okay.
poor and didn't make sense for what they were trying to convey. And that's a lot of the issues that I had with the 2013 movie. It's the same thing.
Mm. Yeah, it didn't sound. It doesn't. It sounded like what I thought it would be. And then when Uncle Bill mentioned the thing, the stuff with the ending, when
Mhm.
the wood chipper out of the blue. There's a lot of skyscrapers have wood chippers and chainsaws in their basements.
Yeah. Yeah, the chainsaw's like in a van that is owned by whoever the landscaper is, because he decides to like park his huge wood chipper down
How
in
much?
the parking
How
garage of
much
the
chains?
complex.
how much you don't get usage of a chainsaw in a city with a high rise? Like how much you don't get out? Like you just don't go out and use it
Exactly.
on telephone poles or fucking
Exactly. Now there are
cut.
trees around the building,
Right.
but they're like, I mean, it's it's a city. Like it's the way they're planted. Like they're in the concrete. They don't require cutting. And even if it did, why do you need a wood chipper? Like the trees are not that big. You don't even need a chainsaw. You could just climb it and snap the branches off. Like,
Well, it's evil. It's Evil Dead. That's why you need a chainsaw.
yeah, that's right. They had to get it in there somehow.
I don't
It
know.
did
Did
have a
it?
shotgun. Yeah, it did. One of the
Of course
neighbors
it did.
had the shotgun. And it's useless. That's another thing. The shotgun is useless. They right, palm trees. So yeah, like the neighbor comes over in the hallway. He tries to shoot someone that's possessed. I believe he does hit. I think it's the lady, the mother. He hits her. She flies back, but then she comes right back at him, and the shotgun almost has no effect. Now I know the aunt, I believe, yeah, it's her sister. She gets the chainsaw later, as well as the shotgun, and again, it's you've seen them used better elsewhere, so just don't bother. I mean, this movie I'll say is only for like diehard fans of the franchise. If you're like, this is your franchise, then yeah, watch it. I mean, if you that's like your thing, but I think you'll still be disappointed.
Well, most people are saying they beat it off or whatever the hell that review was. Something like that. It was a review that sounds like they'll beat you off. This movie's so good, it'll beat you off or something. What the
I
fuck
don't
that
know what
means.
they saw that was good in it. Like the dialogue really is the worst thing about it, I'll say. It's so bad. So
Well, they'll say, well, Evil Dead 1 has bad dialogue. What are you talking about, Mark? You seen that movie? The dialogue sucks.
there's not one line where somebody talks about creepy crawlies in their tummy. That's the line. Or the mom calls the kids a titty sucker. That's a line in the movie. They say that. Yes, that's in the movie. Like, or mommies with the maggots. Like, it's so, that's the lowest common denominator. Like, give me a break. Like, come on. Okay. Let's say, for
Titty
argument's sake,
sucker.
you say the dialogue's bad in the first movie, but it's not used in a way where they're trying to push any sort of narrative to scare you. It's the basic possessed thing. Like that. I see you're dying over there.
I
That's what
just
she
never
said,
thought I would
dude.
hear
Like,
the phrase titty sucker. Who says that to who?
the mother says that to one of the kids when she's possessed.
Calls her kid a titty sucker.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you're going to defend that? Really? Good luck. I mean,
It's that phrase you hear.
I couldn't believe it. I was
I
just
don't know
like,
why. I don't know why I'm laughing. I just that was the last thing I thought you would say is titty sucker.
and it's not even meant to be funny. Like, it'd be different if that scene was played up to be funny. Then it would be, but it's not. It's like this serious moment where she's demeaning her children because she's possessed. But oh god,
No wonder there's a writer's strike.
yeah.
So if you're writing these lines, No wonder we're not paying you a lot. Or it's like,
Yeah.
you make us write this shit, you better pay us more. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That
Evil Dead
was
Rise sounds like a
that was dialogue
classic.
approved by Sam Raimi, people.
And Bruce Campbell, I guess, because he's a big
Mm-hmm. Him too.
get mad at people. Yeah, I mean, granted, the guy should have just yelled in the theater. You just expected to get in trouble, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he was being honest and said the movie sucked, but I mean, so many times they say it to my face, so they say it to their face, and
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, uh, uh, let me see what's coming out next, if you don't mind. I'm just
No, go ahead.
curious. Uh, so we're in May.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That's the big movie coming out tomorrow.
Who
I
cares?
don't care. Um, sorry, it's hard when like these films like fucking Fast X. Fuck Fast X.
Fast X. Oh man, that trailer is cringeworthy.
It's just done. Just stop.
Did you saw the last one, right?
It was pretty bad. John
I
Cena plays his brother, Vin Diesel's brother. He's a bad guy, but by the end, he's a good guy.
hmm
And just
Yeah.
it was
No,
very lame, overlong, boring, all that jazz.
yeah. I
They
mean,
went in space.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, my friend sent me a text and it was a picture, it was a screen cap of like the car like in outer space, and he just wrote he said the franchise is over. He's like, yeah, the franchise is over. I was like, well, I mean, I didn't expect it to continue in a good direction, especially even after the eighth movie, which I didn't really like either. So yeah.
I'm expecting the next one they'll team up with the Transformers.
Probably, or the fight dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, which they actually talked about doing, which I couldn't fucking believe. I
I
don't know
can
if you ever
believe it.
saw
I
that.
mean, if they go into space, you can believe anything now with
Yeah,
Fast and Furious.
the director entertained the idea because somebody floated it to them. Like, I don't know if it was like a press junket or like maybe it was just online questions or something that they were answering. But somebody said, like, are we going to ever go to space? And he's like, well, yeah, like that seems to be like the next logical step. And I'm like, how the fuck is that logical? Like, and then the whole Jurassic Park thing, they said that it should be crossed over because I think it's all universal. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
it is.
but why how do dinosaurs and cars go together? If anything, why not? If you're going to do a crossover, do Death Race or
Cadillacs and
something,
dinosaurs, man. You never played that back in the day or saw that cartoon?
dude.
Cadillacs and dinosaurs. There you go. That's the Cadillacs and dinosaurs movie we're finally getting.
Oh,
There are video games and cartoons back in the day of that, man.
yeah.
Cadillacs and dinosaurs. There you go.
But yeah, it's just so bad. But I was like, again, if you got to cross over anything, do Death Race. You're one step away from that anyway. That might actually be more entertaining. But yeah, I hope the franchise just really does end after this. Well, not this one. I think they got one more coming. Apparently, that's the end.
Yeah,
But I know how Vin Diesel is, so we'll see if he sticks to that.
yeah. I mean, other stuff. Transformers, Rise of the Beast. So yeah, funny. I just looked out. There's Transformers, another Transformers movie.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Uh, the Flash.
No.
What you said? Another Batman movie. There you go. It's Michael Keaton.
What did you think of Affleck? Because like he's in it too as Batman. Now, not talking about like disregard Batman v Superman, Justice League, just
Mhm.
him as the character, his performance. Love it, hate it.
I liked it. Uh, I think if he had done a solo film without people getting in his way, it would have been interesting.
Which was the
And would
plan.
I have given it? Yeah. Would I have given it a look? Yes.
Yeah, me
I
too.
do think if there's any shining spot of Batman v Superman, it was him. I did enjoy the
I
fight
agree.
scene. I will admit
Oh yeah,
it was over the top, yeah, but it was fun. It was fun to watch.
that to me, I
But,
think still think that's one of the best Batman fight scenes ever for a live action version of the character. The bit where he's saving Martha Kent. Yeah.
mhm.
Hmm.
Why'd you say that name?
Now you got to put the
But
voice
yeah,
changer on.
yeah. But I agree that was the best scene in the movie.
Yes.
Um, but then you saw like I like Ben Affleck. I liked him in that as Batman for the little he had really in it,
Mhm.
and I would like to have seen more of that. But then I thought Justice League it was awful. I thought he was written awfully,
Mhm.
awfully. I don't know how you even describe the character in that movie. Very different from Batman v Superman,
Mhm.
and I don't even know why he came back to play the character when you're not going to do anything with it anyway in the future.
That's true.
If they if they're disregarding and starting anew,
Mhm.
I'm like, well, I guess he probably said yes before that decision was made. But I thought at
That's
that
true.
time he
Maybe.
said he was getting over it anyway. He was moving forward.
Yeah, I think he said he was over it, and then he was out for a
Yeah.
while. Then he came back, and I think I did see a lot of negotiations on the table for him to do his own solo thing. So maybe he thought that, well, I'll do this. I'll get back in the suit. I'll see how I feel, and because there's potential for me to do my own thing, I will commit to the role once again. And I guess things fell through.
Mm.
I could care less about what James Gunn is going to do. I like James Gunn, but his slate for like the new DC stuff, I don't care. I think it's Booster Gold. Uh, Come on. Nobody cares about that character. But that's exactly what I expected his stuff to look like. I knew like everything's a joke with him. Everything's like that. So I mean it wasn't surprising that that was the direction he was going with all the lineup of his DC stuff. So yeah, is what it is.
Mm. Uh, yeah. Yeah, I don't really look forward to what they're doing later on with all that. Uh, I'm trying to see, like, I mean, it's the typical stuff that people talk about 100 times. Indiana Jones,
Mm-hmm.
another Insidious, The Red Door, uh, it, The Nun 2, look forward to that.
More spinoffs, more prequels, more sequels.
I just, oh, is this the title? The Exorcist Believer? Is that the full title? That's what it says here. The Exorcist Believer by David Gordon Green. That's what it says here. The title. The Exorcist Believer. Ripley's Believe It or Not. And I guess that's on IMDb as well. The Exorcist Believer. Well, I guess it says original title, so maybe they're changing it to just The Exorcist. I don't know. Maybe they are changing it just to The Exorcist. Maybe that was the original title, The Exorcist Believer. Now they'll probably call it The Exorcist, just like Halloween's Halloween. So they'll probably just change it. That I don't know. It'll be one or the other.
Yeah. Not really looking forward to that. We got the first one and the third one, which I like, but another franchise best left alone. So
Yeah. I mean, they don't really care about what you or anybody else thinks. They just
oh yeah, of course. I'm nobody.
keep doing it. So let me get back to the chat real quick. Hey, the people out there, we'll go a little bit longer. Question for both you: favorite animated DC film so far? Animated DC film? I will go with The Dark Knight Returns with Peter Weller.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say.
So I would say that one. Alex asking, Knight Rider A-Team teamed up in a crossover episode. Back in the day, sure. Kind of surprised they didn't do more of that stuff.
Yeah.
Not nowadays, but with movie wise, but yeah, back in the day, sure. I didn't watch much of Knight Rider. I do like the A-Team show from back in the day. So yeah, I would not have minded it. There's a lot worse crossovers. A Batman Lovecraft film? I've never even heard of that. Batman Lovecraft film. Okay. And no, I've never seen Evil Dead Trap 1 or 2. Have you seen
I
Evil
have
Dead?
seen those. Yeah. I have the what is it? Unearthed Films Blu-ray. Yeah. At least for the first one, yeah. The first one is that movie's really kind of fucked up. Really dark, and the atmosphere is insane. It's a good flick. I like it. Probably not everybody's cup of tea, but yeah, it's cool. I like it. And for the second one, I can't remember as well. Still sealed. I'll have to revisit it again. Yeah.
And Alex Sanchez, I know of Airwolf. I've only seen a few episodes. I remember more of Blue Thunder than Airwolf. So but I remember like the theme and the helicopter in Airwolf. I don't remember much of the show other than that. But I was looking up on IMDb like 2023 horror films and just seeing like what the list was on there. So we're quick lights, as we mentioned it. Evil Dead Rise, which has a 7.1. Beau is Afraid, 7.2. Stream 6, 6.8. Something called Nefarious, which I'd never heard of, with Sean Patrick Flannery. Never heard of that one.
The title sounds familiar.
Convicted serial killer gets a psychiatric evaluation, claims he's a demon, claims that before their time is over, psychiatrist will commit 3 murders of his own.
I haven't seen it, but I saw like the poster or something like on Bloody Disgusting when I was like scrolling through the news.
Renfield, which I have not seen, with Nick Cage.
Yeah, I haven't seen
that disappeared quickly from theaters.
Yeah, I heard it bombed.
The Pope's Exorcist, we mentioned that. A Haunting in Venice, directed by Kenneth Branagh.
That's uh that's surprising. Hmm.
Oh, is this related to the Murder on the Orient Express? Because it's Poirot, Poirot. Is that the character Kenneth Branagh played in that? It says crime, drama, and horror, so it might be that.
It might be. I can't remember. I can't be 100% sure on that.
So, Infinity Pool, which I've heard of, Brandon Cronenberg. I haven't
Oh
seen it, but
yeah,
I've heard
I
of
did
it.
see that. I forgot that was this year. I saw that. It's I mean, like all his movies going so far, like that he's done, like it has a cool concept. Um,
Okay.
I think it works for what it is. There are
Hmm.
always questions with his stuff. He never goes into depth of the minutia of how any of that stuff works, like with Possessor or even with this, like how the technology works or anything. It's all very surface. Like here it is. This is what it does, and then you have your scenarios and your storyline play out with all these characters. I uh
Hmm.
I liked it, but I don't know if that's something that will be something that like resonates with everyone. I think that's the type of movie horror fans will dig more than the general populace. Put it that way.
Hmm. Okay, then. Four quick, like, two questions in the chat.
Hmm.
That happens all the time on Wikipedia, pretty much any day. I mean, that happens all the time. Never read on Wikipedia if you don't want spoiled on a movie.
Yeah, they do that.
And I haven't heard anything about this, so you'd have to explain what do you mean. I've heard
Hmm.
nothing about that, so
I didn't know that.
I don't know what it would be because everything would be like CGI. So,
That's true. And Neopunk, I saw your message earlier. I just didn't remember till now. I agree with you. Gunn is a good director. Yeah, that's what I said that. Like I like Gunn, but I don't want him to be tied to this stuff.
mhm,
Like do you know the Guardians trilogy, that's its own thing. That was one thing, but for him to be tied to all this DC stuff, like I want him to break away much like Scott Derrickson did. And I know it's a lot of money.
mhm,
It's a huge opportunity to do a lot of stuff on a big scale with a lot of money, access to a lot of talented people, crew wise and actor wise. But
mhm,
I want him to do his own original stuff. If he's going to make superhero stuff, do Super, do a trilogy to Super. That was his own original thing. That was like 2010 or something. I could be wrong on the date, but that was so long ago. Do something like that. I want him to do stuff like Slither. Like that's
mhm.
the James Gunn that I grew to like really get into. So maybe he's past that time now. That could be the case. I mean, maybe he's just beyond that, sort of like how Peter Jackson's beyond Bad Taste or Dead Alive or any of that stuff. Like he's gone on to like, at least in his mind, an upper echelon of filmmaking. But I don't think he does a bad job with anything. It just I wish his talents were elsewhere. That's all.
So if it's CGI, so then it's not animal cruelty because it's a computer effect. People really complain about CGI animals being hurt now. If that's the
Probably.
case, give me a fucking break. It's CGI. What's that? You can't shoot CGI anacondas in a new Anaconda 7 sci-fi channel movie. Give me a fucking break. It's fucking stupid if that's the case. Uh, Other horror this year, there's something called The Black Demon, which is a shark
Just a
movie,
shark
of
movie.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The Meg 2, which I mean, I didn't even like the first one.
That was a completely different script from what I had heard. Like that was going to be a
What?
completely different movie in the beginning, the first Meg.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was. it had all these other like crazy elements to it, and it was apparently going to be really violent as well. But instead,
Hmm.
they did a lot of last minute changes, or maybe it wasn't last minute, but they did a lot of changes to the script, and then they completely stripped away the violence and made it this PG-13 like Jason Statham adventure. So,
Because I've not to go off tangent, someone had me review the audio book of The Mage, so I listened to the whole thing,
mhm.
and there's some interesting stuff that maybe dislike the movie even more. Because there's some scenes I'm like, man, if you put this in, like, okay, in the book, The Maid, which the audio book was about, of course,
Mhm.
the shark, because it was in the dark for so long, the it was like bioluminescent, like it would kind of glow
Mm,
in a way.
okay.
I mean, if you did that, like somehow did that practically, it'd be a hard effect to do, but that
But you
could
could
create like
pull it
an
off.
interesting effect.
Yeah.
And there was stuff like the hero would get inside the shark and have to traverse through the inside of the shark.
Mm,
And I think even like got stuck inside and had to shoot himself out and like
wow.
kill from the inside out and like got stuck in the teeth and had to like work its way out. And like there's certain ideas I'm like, man, if this actually would have been interesting and more violent, but of course, like you said, the PG-13 just diluted.
Yep.
Um, and Jesse, I haven't seen The Entity in a while, so I can't remember my thoughts on The Entity from '81.
Um,
Barbara Hershey, I think.
yeah. I like it, but I don't love it. Um, I think it's got more of a cult following now. I like the movie. I
Hmm.
own it. The last time I watched it, I think was with the Dead Pig guys. Um,
Okay.
it
Oh,
was
that's
fun.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I enjoy the movie. That's I think it's based on like a true events or something close to that. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a very messed up scenario being raped by a ghost constantly.
All this stuff is stuff. I did hear someone talk about this. The Dr. Stephen King, the Boogeyman adaptation of that,
Hmm.
which is coming. Don't know much other info than that.
I don't know how well that'll turn out.
Hmm.
I mean, look at all the previous Stephen King stuff in the last decade. Like, with the exception of
It's a good
maybe
point.
like,
Dr. Sleep.
yeah, Doctor Sleep, or maybe even Gerald's Game, which I thought was decent on
Yeah,
Netflix.
I thought it was decent. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but the other stuff is just bad.
Yeah. Then you got like Five Nights at Freddy's. We've talked about that with Uncle Bill. Fucking
What a waste of time.
just to watch Willy's Wonderland, folks. They already did
Yeah,
that movie already.
just watch that. You'll probably have more fun with Nick Cage anyway.
And like a bunch of stuff I don't really know. Oh, there's another Saw film in October, Saw X.
Thumbs up. Can't wait. We need more Saw.
Yeah. Oh my god. And something called Sympathy for the Devil with Nick Cage and Joel Kinnaman. After being forced to drive a mysterious passenger at gunpoint, a man finds himself in a high stakes game of cat and mouse where it becomes clear that not everything as it seems. Although I don't know why it's on this list, because then it says action thriller, so I don't know why they put it in a horror film list. But
It's got devil in the title.
yes, there's a title of a movie called The First Omen,
What?
and the Omen's like it's called. It says The First Omen, and see, I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can show it. See if I get a better picture. If I click on it, okay, get away. And it's got the 666, so
Of course it does.
you see,
Oh wow.
like
Yeah, I see.
the First Omen. There, 666. Even in the thing, so The First Omen. So this is like a prequel. What the hell? I don't know what
Probably.
the hell.
Sounds like it.
So they are doing another Omen movie, I guess.
Well, I
I
mean,
guess.
they know about the Exorcist, so they're like, well, let's dust off the Omen.
Get hell. And whatever. This is all fucking depressing shit anyway. So fuck it.
Yeah, 2023 is gonna be awesome. A lot of good shit coming out.
Well, we're in about 3 hours, and we'll probably end it here. In about 11:45 p.m. my time. Don't know what we'll be doing next, but we'll definitely think about some stuff. There's some ideas floating, but
Oh wait,
anything
well,
coming up you want to mention? Yeah, go ahead.
we got one. I don't know if you want to tell them yet.
Go for it.
You remember what it is, right? The next
Yeah, I
commentary.
mean, there's talks of another film, perhaps Tremors 2 Aftershocks.
That's right.
Perhaps a commentary on that, which is a very fun sequel. Have to work out the time frame on that, but that would be a fun one because that's another entertaining movie. So since we like it, that means probably 10 people will show up.
We got to
But
do something that we don't like. That's the
I'm glad to
secret.
do this because it's fun to hang out with this guy here. So that makes it more than enough for me. Even if there's like one other person, just to hang out with someone like Stuntman Marq, that makes it satisfying to me. It's just that
Thanks.
if you want people to find your channel, don't deal with me because no one watches me. So I ain't going to help anybody's channel
Come
if you try
on.
to. But Tremors 2 Aftershocks we'll do sometime. I'll work out on the schedule. Not sure it'll be next week. I'll let Stuntman Marq know because I gotta see what the schedule is. Yeah, anything else coming up on your channel?
Yeah. The next video, more than likely, it's one that I announced a while back. We've done so many streams with, well, me with you, and then with Dead Pit. I'm on Dead Pit all the freaking time. I'll just give everybody a hint as to what it'll be. So it's that should tell you
Very
everything. So yeah, look out for that. That'll be this week for sure. Gonna try to finish that up because I've been working on that for a while. So
very cool.
Yeah, that'll be the next one. Beyond that, maybe commentary tomorrow night with us again with UB. I'm gonna message him. I don't give a shit what time it is. I'm gonna message him anyway.
uh, Yeah, if he does, I'll definitely be there. I just again, I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not, but if so, I would definitely be there.
Okay.
And either way, as for me, I have a request coming up. Uh, I don't know, probably like 85 videos will be uploaded tomorrow or something. But technically, the show a little bit of the probably late tonight, tomorrow morning is going to be reviews for Tetsuo 2, Sleepless with Jamie Foxx, and Meet the Beatles, which is an awful Disney Paul Walker movie. Uh, then Stream 6. Maybe I'll upload Stream. Maybe I'll wait on the Beatles when I upload Stream 6 tomorrow, since I know some people are looking forward to that. So I'll probably upload Tetsuo 2, Sleepless, and Stream 6 either maybe in a few hours before I go to bed because I'm a night owl, or
Same here.
it'll be up by early tomorrow morning. And then more to come, some tier lists, some commentaries, some things of that nature. So thanks to people who have sent in requests. I will get to them as soon as I can. As for other stuff, we will see. So thanks for the people hanging in there and watching this. Really appreciate it. Been a lot of fun, like always, with Stuntman Marq here. Thanks very much for coming by and doing
Anytime.
this. Um, Thank you, Wonder Waz, and everybody for the kind words.
Yes,
Thank you
thank
to
you.
the people who sent in. Thank you to the people who sent in super chats. That was really kind of you. And yeah, Alex, you have a good night as well.
Yeah, good night, man.
Lord Cosmo, everybody, take
Mhm.
care, and we will see you guys later. Take care.
Later.
Bye bye. Make sure I did